This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where every week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, along with our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We're your host, Cheryl.
And Jay.
All right, this week we watched Black Bag, and Jay is on deck for trivia. What you got?
Okay, Black Bag trivia. Okay, so this was written by David Coep.
Yep.
Who we know, who's written things like Jurassic Park. He conceived this idea for this film while writing another film. One of his previous films in the past. What movie was that?
This movie is inspired by a previously written movie.
I didn't say that. I said that he was writing this. He came up with the idea for this film. While he was writing another film. Another big blockbuster.
It wasn't one of his films?
Yes. While he was writing another one of his films. I didn't say it was inspired.
Oh, inspired. Okay. I added my own words. What other I'm just gonna go with the easy.
It was a blockbuster.
Jurassic Park.
No.
Okay.
But.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Mission Impossible.
Yes.
I just happened to learn that he co-wrote Mission Impossible
today.
So
he conceived the idea of the Black Bag movie 30 years ago. He says the longest he's gestated on an idea. When he was writing, he was in the middle of writing Mission Impossible. He was having a conversation with a spy who was telling him about how hard it is to maintain a relationship while working in spycraft. And if you remember in the movie, that conversation actually came up in the film with one of the characters talking about how difficult it is to maintain a relationship.
Well, Tom Cruise or Ethan Hunt's always had an issue of like not being able to have a love interest and all of that.
So that was that conversation, and part of him just conceiving the idea itself started the whole Black Bag thing 30 years ago.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta let stuff cook, and he let it age, not just cook.
Yeah.
And it's turned out pretty good, but you'll learn more about that in our review.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah.
And if you didn't already know, not only did he write the OG Jurassic Park, he also wrote
Lost World.
He wrote Lost World, but he has also written Rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
And
yes.
He also wrote The Presents, which we was a little nervous about. I was like, oh no, I don't know.
He did. They both worked on The Presents.
We're back.
So.
We're back. We're all back, guys. we're back on the scene. Everything is fine now. This movie was good. So yeah, shout out to David for this.
Other interesting tidbits of trivia that would have been too easy to guess is that this movie stars two James Bond alum. One is Naomi Harris, who plays Moneypenny.
Oh, yes.
And the other is Pierce Brosnan, who plays James Bond himself.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I would have got that pretty quickly.
And they have both previously worked with Soderbergh in the past before. He's worked with everybody on this
already
before.
Okay. He's got a lot. I mean, he's written a lot. I mean, he's directed a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So
his filmography is kind of banging, to be honest.
Yeah. So the spy thing is their wheelhouse. So yeah,
I like it. All right, so that's it for our trivia. Let's get into our episode.
Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we got two new movie announcements in our new movie announcement section. We got a couple cars in the trailer park, and then we got a little healthy bite, because it's kind of small, dose of Buncha Crunch this week. So let's get into it. First up, we got another remake. Well, it's funny. Both of our new movie announcements are previously done movies, but we'll talk about it. The first one is a single white female remake. It is going to Jenna Ortega and Taylor Russell, who we talked about last episode, who's going to be in a Thomas Crown Affair. They're in talks to star as... I'm curious of who's going to be who in this.
Yeah, who's the white female?
Well, neither. So I wonder if we're getting a new title.
Probably.
Single... ambitious female looking female looking for a female,
single colored female,
single POC female. I don't know, but I think the title might need a little tweaking. But if you have not heard of this movie before, this is actually the OG movie. Came out in 1992. It starred Bridget Fonda, who was a character called Allie, and then Jennifer Jason Leigh played the crazy one called Hetty. So it was basically a movie about a woman who broke up with her ex-boy or broke up with her boyfriend because he was like cheating on her or something, doing something stupid. And then she puts in an ad of all things. So they really gonna have to change that junk up. Like a newspaper ad looking for a single white female.
Yeah.
Unless you do like a Facebook ad. Craigslist.
They still do roommate ads.
Okay,
People still do roommate ads.
Okay.
You're way outside. We're both way outside of that
I was
world.
like, where you look for a roommate at?
We're both way outside of that world.
So that was very first world problem that I just described. Like, where do you look for a roommate?
Who needs a roommate?
Right. But anyway, in the original movie, she puts out an ad for a single white female to rent out space in her home so she can pay like her rent and stuff. And then the girl she get real like, I want to be like you. And she like get her hair cut like her. She be like taking over her life or whatever. It get real messy real fast. And I don't believe this was like a blockbuster movie, but it's a cult classic.
No, and they've done this before. They did The Roommate, which came out. When did The Roommate come out?
It's funny you say The Roommate movie. Now there's a Netflix show called like Worst Roommate Ever. We've probably seen an episode of this in that show.
I actually saw The Roommate.
Okay.
It came out in 2011.
Is it a horror movie?
I think I saw it with my college friends. It's like a thriller. It's single white female, but they just changed it to, it still stars two white females. But they changed it.
Like males this time?
They changed it to The Roommate because it's about this girl who's going through a breakup or has this boyfriend, and she puts out an ad for this girl and they become best friends, but the girl wants to steal her life and her man.
Okay, so it's literally single. Okay, why did they call it single white female?
It starred Dove. Minka Kelly from Titans. She was the main girl.
Was she okay? I was about to say, was she the crazy one? She was the regular one.
No, she wasn't.
She could play both. She could play both. Okay, so we're at.
So this is the
second.
Third. This will be the third.
I bet you there's a bunch of other movies that have sprinkled a version of this in. So
Obsessed kind of had that. What was the Glenn Close one where he was cheating? That was kind of single white female.
Okay, this storyline is not new, so it's interesting that they're picking this when this storyline has been done in different forms, like a bunch. Yeah, and I mean they're gonna have to change the title. I'm curious what they're gonna. I mean,
they are, but
I think that's the funniest part is that they're rebooting like neither lead is like white. So
right, but
it's funny.
I think it'll be fine. This type of story doesn't get old. They keep doing this type of story.
If they keep the budget low, Jenna Ortega has a good following. Everybody's
got a crazy roommate story.
Everybody got a crazy roommate, so they're going to be able to relate to some part of this.
Right.
They don't have a director or a writer for this yet, so it's in super, super early stages. But of course, as we learn more and we get that first trailer, because I'm very curious what this is going to be like, we will let you guys know.
Yeah, I like Jenna Ortega, and I don't think I've seen Taylor Russell in anything.
Yeah, you did. You saw her in we talked about this last week when we were
I know, we just talked about
I got her confused with Taylor Page. It was a horror movie.
Escape Room,
and then you said she was in Bones and All?
She ate Timothée Chalamet.
Boom.
Yeah.
So she's a cannibal. She does horror, and now I wonder who's gonna play the crazy one. That's my biggest. I feel like Jenna Ortega is gonna play.
Both of them could be the crazy one.
Right. So
Taylor Russell, Timothée Chalamet, and Jenna Ortega.
Or I wonder if they're gonna put like a twist on it, where like it's the two of them are looking for a third roommate. I don't know. You could take this movie a bunch of different ways, and it's already been done a bunch of different times. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
All right. Next up on the news train is a Starship Troopers remake is in the work.
Yes, I guess we call it a remake,
They're
not a reboot.
Picking up from where it left off.
Exactly.
What did we just see?
Mickey 17?
Yeah, that was essentially Starship Troopers. Yes. It was basically Starship Troopers.
And I thought people were going to be like, that's not, because Starship Troopers is the original movie.
Yeah.
It's very goofy.
It's wartime propaganda.
I mean,
on purpose.
You have to watch it to be like, is y'all serious? It's a very unserious movie. But Mickey 17, unfortunately, I thought people were going to be like, oh, you can't say it. This movie too bougie for that. But people were like, nah, this is very Starship Troopery.
Yeah. So this will be directed by District 9's Neil Blomkamp.
Positive. District
9 was extremely good. Neil Blomkamp is a good director. We
will forever be waiting for District 10.
Starship Troopers is it's not happening. But I don't think so. Starship Troopers is a cult classic.
It is.
It's a fun movie.
It's very unserious.
I'm worried that they won't be able to pull off the tone correctly.
Well,
it was a different time then.
They are not basing it on the movie. Okay. They are basing it on the 1959 novel. They specifically said this is not going to be a remake of The Goof. this is gonna go back to the source material, which I've never read the book, so I don't know the tone. But I think
didn't know it was a book.
Yeah, I think
too ridiculous to be a book.
Well, I think the movie like stripped away whatever tone of the novel was and made its own like.
That's good though. That means they are both their own things.
They will be.
They exist in their own greatness.
And they made the article from Hollywood Reporter seemed like it was kind of shade and like the movie. I'm like, now come on,
that
now.
movie's too well liked.
We still have memes and quotes from that freaking movie.
I'm doing my part.
Hello, and the alien and the bugs and the commercials of like how they were like, how you supposed to kill
and literally every part of Starship Troopers is still relevant. The high school to military pipeline.
Yes, essentially.
The colonization of an entirely different planet, wanting to destroy the native species without even thinking to understand them at all. And then in the end, it was the whole question of, maybe they weren't trying to fight us. Maybe they were just defending their homeland.
And they were like they were like torturing them and like using them for science. It was weird. Like the original Starship, and I think the book and the movie actually had the same storyline, interstellar war between Earth and a host of bug-like aliens. And the focus of the movie was on the main character named Johnny Rico, who was played by Casper Van Dien.
Yeah.
And I think the plots were the same, but as far as like the tones, I think they were totally different.
Yeah, Starship Troopers was good. I mean,
it's a good.
There was a black girl who
it's a cult classic. I can't take that.
The black girl who was only joined because she wanted to like work for her citizenship, and then she had an accident where the guy accidentally got killed, and then they deported her. Yeah, it's like that's so relevant,
right? And if you've never seen District 9, though, District 9 is a very good movie, and it is not unserious at all. It's very much. It's got like themes and tones of kind of like classism and racism, technically.
Yeah, very much.
So
immigration,
all that. It is very serious. So we're not gonna get, if you've seen the OG movie, it's not gonna be that. So don't be expecting like.
I feel better.
I'm doing my part. Don't be.
I feel better now because that means that the OG movie will still be relevant.
It will stand on its own,
and it'll still be left alone.
It'll always be its own thing.
So, and that means we're basically getting a different movie.
Yes,
because Starship Troopers is too unserious.
That was one of the movies where, and I don't know if I know this is not where it started, but it had like they used to cover up parts of the trailer, because that's how like weird. That's
how weird ads used to be.
Yeah,
it was very much being a parody on actual like television reality, because weren't they like they were filming them kind of like in what's Edge of Tomorrow, when Tom Cruise was basically supposed to be the news reporter just filming the war.
Okay.
And they were kind of they were kind of
yeah.
filming them while they were doing
and that's how he got roped into it.
And stuff
You're right.
like that. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, that and they cuz they were doing like some weird stuff to like the aliens and people was getting like blown apart. So they would block off parts of the trailer. It was like
very graphic and gory.
It was like a Red Band without the red, essentially. Weird times, guys.
Yeah.
Weird times, weird movie. But I cannot take away its cult classic status.
I think I first saw Starship Troopers when I was a kid.
It's kind of traumatizing.
And then didn't realize what it was actually about until I watched it again as an adult. And they do a good job at letting the joke fly right over your head.
It's almost
if
like,
you're not understanding
what's the movie with Ben Stiller and Robert Downey Jr. playing the black man?
Zoolander?
No.
Tropic Thunder?
It's a little Tropic Thundery as well.
It makes fun of itself. But you know what, though? I don't think Starship Troopers played it for laughs. It just was funny.
You don't think they was trying to make us laugh?
It was weird.
It was unserious. That's like the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. Like you're not supposed to laugh at the movie while it's happening because people are dying gruesomely and
very
getting
badly
torn apart and having accidents. And the characters are
serious.
Like their motivations, they're in love and they're like they're sent to different parts of the military
and they want to work for their country or whatever. So you're
Denise
right.
Richards was taking her role very seriously.
You're right. It's an interesting. You should watch this movie. This new one ain't gonna be nothing like that old one. So you should go ahead and watch that new one.
I'm interested now because whenever they do this, that means people who've never seen it are gonna go back and watch it.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how everybody reacts to the first one, having never seen it before.
It's an interesting movie.
I've seen a couple people watch it and then talk about it after the fact, and they're like, I had no idea this was gonna be this going into it.
I don't even know if we should have been watching it as kids.
Like they went into it thinking it was gonna be like a fun dumb action movie. By the end, they were kind of like, this made me think a lot more than I wanted.
They were probably expecting like a Star Wars Outdoors or I don't know,
like an Edge of Tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, something like Safe.
And who knew it'd be more serious than like an Edge of Tomorrow movie?
Gruesome.
It was gruesome.
What is going on out
Carrie
here?
Russell died. You thought she was gonna make it. That was sad.
Yeah, that movie was wild. I just me thinking about
dude
that.
Got his brain sucked out.
They could because they used a tool that like sucks your like
the alien
out.
The main alien like stuck a thing in your head and it would suck your brains out.
It was like a pincher or something.
Yeah, that's how they learned about the military.
Right, because they would suck people's brains out through a little tube.
Yeah,
coming out their
and
body.
then come to find out that they probably weren't even hostile until we got there and decided to start shooting them up.
Crazy movie.
Yeah,
go watch Starship Troopers.
Very good. Very
that
good.
is the takeaway.
Yeah,
that is the takeaway.
Extremely relevant. So
unfortunately,
yeah.
Yikes.
Okay, so that is all the movie news this week. Let's roll into the trailer park.
Toot toot. beep.
First trailer we have is for another movie coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
This is Freakier Friday.
Now, have you seen the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have not.
You haven't seen the first one? You didn't watch like a lot of movies.
I like skipped the whole generation.
You watched half of Mean Girls, which is also Lindsay Lohan. You just not like Lindsay Lohan.
No. Don't set me up.
Okay.
For some reason, I missed like a whole generation of movies, and I think this was included in that. But now you're gonna have to tell me who is who in this new one.
Yeah, so that's
there's
the
4
issue.
people here.
So Freaky Friday, the first one came out in 2003. It was about Jamie Lee Curtis and her daughter Lindsay Lohan. Jamie Lee Curtis is a therapist, I think, who's like super uptight. Her daughter is like a rock star rebel high school student that wants to have like a band.
Okay. I got that from the poster.
Have like a magical switcheroo by a fortune cookie, I think.
Okay.
I think it's a fortune cookie.
Sure.
They do a magical switcheroo and they switch bodies. You
I knew.
can kind of guess where it goes from there.
I got that part.
This one seems like both of the kids jumped. So Lindsay Lohan has daughters, or a daughter and a friend.
Okay.
A daughter and her daughter's friend.
Okay.
And now instead of the two of them switching, just Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, it's Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis, her daughter, and her daughter's friend.
Swapping. Well, who is who,
actually,
though?
no, I think they're both her daughters.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I think they're both her kids.
Minor note.
Yeah. But yeah, so now Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, are in the younger girls' bodies, and both of the younger girls are now in Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. That
help. Thank you for that help, because I was watching the trailer like, there's too much.
Yeah,
I don't know who's who, and I didn't have a context of like who is supposed to be who and who is not supposed to be who.
So it's gonna be more of the same.
Yeah, it looks like,
but
based on what you described.
But with the extra 2 people in the switcheroo, so now it's gonna be a 4-way switcheroo.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, and I think that
too much
kind of killed my interest in the movie right in the middle of the trailer, because it's too much.
Yeah,
and I literally
you got to keep track of all them people.
I didn't know they were gonna inject daughters into this.
They didn't allude to that when we were getting like set pictures and stuff, that there were 2 other kids in this.
And everybody's only been interested in Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan returning and doing their regular switcheroo. I think it would have been much more entertaining and much more fun if they just switched again and they had to like convince their daughters of who they were.
Okay, I feel you.
With the added element of like kids, or maybe the kids like know about it this time.
Because in the first one, they had to be the other person, right? To live day-to-day life for a little bit. Okay.
I feel like the 4 of them is way too many people to follow, and I'm not interested in the 2 little girls.
Well, on the trailer, I was just kind of like, what's the plot? Outside of the switching.
The plot is that they just have to stick it out until they figure out how to switch themselves back.
But
it wasn't like on a timer in the first movie. They had to learn a lesson about each other. The reason they had switched is because they weren't seeing eye to eye.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Wasn't the first one probably about like a mother and a daughter trying to learn each other and be closer together? You got 4 people trying to learn about each other and be like, did they not resolve the issue from the first movie?
It seems like maybe Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis's characters will be closer because they've gone through the experience, and they still seem to be close in the trailer. They still seem to have a good relationship.
Now you got the daughters that are now not close.
So now it's time for the daughters to take a walk in the older women's shoes.
No,
and I'm not interested in that. No,
I hate to say it. The movie look a little low budget.
It does. It looks like one of those streaming Disney sequels.
It looks like a Disney Plus,
but it's going to theaters, so
we'll see. I'm curious how it does. I didn't see the first one. And this is not encouraging me to go watch it to see the second.
Original Freaky Friday is still funny.
I bet it is. I believe you.
This kind of, you know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of the newer Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. which are like okay.
Yeah,
but
they're like okay. So
and
this
that
will probably
last
be
one
okay.
was just like a little less than okay.
Oh, that last one was bad.
Jay said it. Not
It
me.
wasn't good.
I wouldn't watch it again. But we did review it. If you're curious.
They ruined McKenna Grace's character.
I didn't
I really liked in the first of the reboot.
I don't think they get another one.
No, they should.
So yeah, you guys tell us what you think about this trailer. It looked a little low budget, and I was confused. I was like, I'm not watching this.
For me, it looks like more of the same with some added stuff,
extra that you don't want.
That's just unnecessary. But
yeah, well,
not everything's made for us.
It's nostalgia bait to like the 10th power, but they might be too late.
Yeah, just like the Mean Girls thing was a nostalgia bait, and it didn't grasp any of the people that they were targeting.
Oh, you're right. I forgot all about that.
Nope.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, next stop on the trailer park is for another boring trailer. This is F1.
Now, hold on. I thought this trailer was a good one. No?
It was a good trailer.
Okay, but you just called it boring.
The movie looks like it's going to be good nap time material.
Jesus Christ. I thought this trailer actually gave more of like what the heck the plot was.
Who didn't know that the movie was about Freaky Friday? young versus old, both of them having to take a walk in each other's shoes.
Yeah, you're right.
Who didn't see that coming?
But we got more talking in this one.
Yes, more lines. The other trailers didn't have any dialogue.
More scenes. I was like, oh, I can get the tone. I got the tone of the movie in this one. I don't know. It piqued my interest like 2% more than the other two.
For me, it was more of Brad Pitt repeating lines that he said in other Brad Pitt films.
I mean, he's very much Brad Pitt in every other movie.
At this point, Brad Pitt is just Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Yes.
Brad Pitt's playing himself.
In everything.
And Damson Idris is... I did watch Snowfall, so I've never seen him in anything.
I saw him...
So this is my first foray.
I saw him on a Netflix movie with Anthony Mackie, where Anthony Mackie played a robot.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
He played like a rogue robot, and Damson Idris was his protege, which is just like F1. They go on a mission together and find out that they have to fight each other.
Okay.
Or Anthony Mackie's trying to destroy the world or something.
Of course, because he's a robot.
Yeah.
Okay. This piqued my interest a little bit. I'm curious how this movie does because it is very, very, very... I think it's like $300 million. In terms of like budget.
Yeah, because it's an Apple thing, and Apple doesn't know how to not spend money.
Well, it also looked like it's basically a moving advertisement for like
F1 racing.
F1 and all the sponsors that be doing F1 stuff. So,
hey, I mean, it's a big sport. It bores me to tears. Personally.
You about to have an Jesus Christ. We're done.
F1 bores me to tears. I'm not afraid.
We about to have the F1 people all downvoting everything we ever done. F1 is extremely popular, though.
Yeah, like, Gran Turismo has been around forever. So people love racing.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And this is coming from the director of Top Gun, which
more wartime propaganda, just like Starship Troopers.
Didn't see. So I don't know. This is a maybe for me. This is a maybe. I want to know what the runtime is. If it's pushing over 2.5 hours.
Which Top Gun?
The first one.
Okay, so that was super wartime propaganda. The first
Maverick.
Maverick was more like Mission Impossible.
Yes, this is from Maverick. This is from
that's different.
John. I was about to say Stahelski.
Krasinski.
Joseph. Nope. We get people mixed up.
John Krasinski.
No, that's
the Office.
Thank you.
Joseph Kosinski, I think, is a writer.
Sure.
Is that who you're talking about?
Maybe.
Okay.
He's got a skin name. I don't know what his last name is.
It is. Joseph Kosinski.
Okay, it ain't Chad Stahelski like I was about to say.
So he's also done. Oh wow, he really loves Tom Cruise. So he's doing Top Gun 3.
Okay.
He did Top Gun Maverick.
Yep.
He also did another.
Thunderbirds.
Okay, so he did a movie that we saw that you did not like, and he did a movie that you saw with Tom Cruise that you did like. So he did Oblivion.
Okay, I liked Oblivion.
But he also did Twisters.
Did he?
Yeah.
This is going down on my list. I'm sorry.
He wasn't the director, but he was the writer of the story for the film.
Oh.
So.
Well,
at least this is predictable.
Okay.
We know where this is going. They're gonna win.
They're going to win.
They're going to get along.
And somebody's going to have like a life-threatening illness. I'm just somebody.
Or it's the Devil Wears Prada, where Brad Pitt's going to retire. Damson Idris is going to carry the rest of the sponsorships. Team.
He's going to be the team. Yeah, they have teams.
Yeah.
Look at us, don't know nothing about racing, trying to talk about racing. We'll see. This is a maybe. This is a question mark for me. Big old boop at the end.
Okay.
Jay's like, no, I'm not watching this.
Next door, the trailer park, we have Lilo and Stitch, which is another.
It's back.
Another brand new, fresh idea that nobody thought of.
Listen, this trailer is the most watched live action Disney movie behind 2019 Lion King.
Because after all these years, all we've been hearing is, Disney remake, live reboot, slop, Disney slop.
Listen, Moana 2 made $1 billion.
Live action slop.
Listen, the sloppers be going to the movies, okay?
So now that Lilo and Stitch is there, everybody loves it. That's funny.
Here's the thing. Nobody did not like Lilo and Stitch, and all the cinephiles are like, slop, 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 slop. And everybody else like, where's my plushie? Where's my t-shirt? Where's my popcorn bucket? This trailer is done numbers. It's like number 2.
Lilo and Stitch is very popular. Lilo and Stitch came out during that era where as soon as the movie came out, it got like a syndicated series on the Disney Channel.
Okay,
like the Lion King had a couple series.
Seen this?
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
But
it's fun. It's cute.
I do think I want to watch this.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to watch. It's not Lilo and Stitch is not one of those things where you got to watch both to grasp the meaning of the story. It's
a remake, so I hope
it's a remake.
Not.
One. You could have guessed where it goes.
Of course. I know Ohana means family?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know who Ohana is.
And he's cute.
On the brain.
He's a cute Disney creature.
He is an ugly cute. He's giving Baby Yoda.
Yes, and they're good. Disney is good with that.
Disney is
they're good with developing something that turns into a really good plushie.
Ugly alien animal that all the kids love. So this is probably going to make $2 billion. Yeah. If Moana 2 made $1 billion, it's probably gonna make $2 billion. Mm-hmm. What I did not know that just like Moana 2, this was also supposed to be a Disney Plus thing, and they were just like,
that makes sense.
Scooch, 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 and now it's probably gonna make them. It's gonna rain cash.
That makes sense. I don't know if live action Moana will do as well as like Moana 2.
I agree.
Moana 2 was a sleeper hit that nobody apparently saw coming because they failed to market it. But little did we know they didn't have to. So they didn't fail.
We were like, ain't they got a movie coming out in 2 weeks? Disney was like, don't even worry about us.
You'll see it.
Stay over there. We know what we doing. I don't think that live action Moana is gonna do numbers.
And it's coming right after the other
too
one.
Soon.
Yeah.
It's too soon. As in Lilo and Stitch, we had this huge
big
gap.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I actually think this is kind of cute for somebody who has not seen the original. I thought this trailer was pretty cute. I am slightly worried about the movie that is coming out with. Can you guess what it is?
The Rock?
Nope. But it's an action movie.
Action movie?
An action movie that...
It's coming out with this movie?
Not with it. Same weekend. So...
Mission Impossible? Oh, again? He didn't learn his lesson.
I was like, Tom, you might want to... You might want to move this. You might want to scooch this.
He couldn't even beat WB. Now he's trying to go against Disney.
And this is the same weekend, Jay. Not the weekend before, 2 weekends before, like it was with Barbenheimer. The exact same weekend. And people might be like, oh, it's kind of programming.
It's not.
Not with this.
Yeah, Mission Impossible, the first one, would have been kind of programming if it was a good movie. And it wasn't, because they killed Elsa, and I'm not afraid to challenge anybody on that.
I was going to say, you ain't officially said you didn't like that movie, but I think you officially said... I don't disagree. It stays
out of the DVD set. I'll have an incomplete set, because I do not care about Dead Reckoning.
Use it as a coaster. It's
a bad film.
I don't know about this, because this is Disney. Disney don't play about their movies in the theater.
No.
Disney also keeps their movies in the theaters
forever.
They don't care what a movie does in the box office. It's going to stay there. Mufasa.
It's not even going to Disney Plus yet. I mean, like, what, in 2 weeks?
Nope, that's digital. Well, no, you're right. It may be on Disney Plus in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think like the end of March.
It's still in the theaters, though.
Yeah.
And it's still making money.
And that Disney's the only studio who still keeps their movies in theaters.
And I don't know
regardless of people are seeing it or not.
I don't know why the other studios are not learning from that.
It's a case by case basis. There is a case for keeping movies in theaters longer, but then when a lot of people are like, well, why don't they give movies chances? They did. People stopped showing up when people stopped matriculating to the theaters. There's no point in paying the theaters to keep it there.
Yeah,
so
I don't.
It's a case by case.
It's definitely gonna be a battle of the premium screens for Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible. And I'm curious who's gonna win.
Lilo and Stitch.
I was
How
trying
many
to
people
have
watched the Dead Reckoning Part 2 trailer.
I was, and they made no numbers. Exactly. I don't recall. I don't recall making no headlines.
It's just, it's a poor decision to
It
do
is.
this twice.
In a row.
And these are like
Back to back.
These aren't like the super good Mission Impossible movies.
The one with Henry Cavill is where we peaked.
Yeah.
And was that Fallout? I think that's Fallout.
That's when they had the best like group.
Fallout peaked.
Then they killed Henry.
Dead.
Then they killed Elsa.
I knew you was about to say it again.
Ving Rhames looks like he's on his way.
He don't seem like he's in this a ton. He don't seem
like he's in it a lot.
And they got this new gang, and y'all know I hate new gangs. I hate new gangs.
They killed Alec. That was before the controversy, so that was another bad decision.
Oh, that was a good
Loved Alec's character in there.
That was a good death, though. At least he went out with like a bang. But you're right. We're losing recipes.
We are
in this,
and I replaced it with Peggy.
I don't
dislike
Peggy, her, but
she ain't no Rebecca Ferguson.
She ain't no Ilsa. Well, battle. This will be Mission and Stitch, and we'll see how this weekend turns out. I'm very curious.
Like I said, the trailer looks cute.
Are we doing a double feature? You don't want to see Lilo and Stitch? I might double.
I don't want to see either, but I
mean, we have to watch something, sir. We have a movie podcast.
The trailer looks cute.
Okay.
I'm looking for Stitch merch.
Okay, Stitch merch will be
Stitch Funko.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they nailed the CGI.
It does look good.
Yeah.
We didn't mention what the trailer looks like, but it looks good. Stitch looks like he fits.
And Courtney B. Vance, so that's another plus.
Yes, he fits. And I guess we didn't also say this is a quote unquote live action in the vein of like Sonic. So where Sonic is animated and he lives in like the real world, this is what this will be.
Yeah, not live action like The Lion King.
Thank you.
Which wasn't live action at all. I mean, the grass maybe was there.
No,
but none of the animals.
Africa
was real.
I don't think Disney even calls it live action. I think we just call it that, and Disney that's not what we say it. No. But call it whatever you want. Just go see it.
Go see it.
2 tickets, please.
Okay, so that is the last stop on the trailer park. Let's dive into this Buncha Crunch.
All right, first up is something I thought that was weird, but Daniel Craig is in talks to be in a role of Greta Gerwig's upcoming Narnia movies. Mm-hmm. Now, I thought that was weird. His role is unknown, so we don't know who they're trying to get him to be.
I just saw that he is actually. There's 2 pieces of news for this, I guess.
Okay, hit it.
One is he's going to be playing the uncle, I think, that they live with.
Okay.
Like the orphans.
Yes.
So
the kids.
Small part, if that's the case, because they're only at the house for a little bit before
5
they go
minutes
into the cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie XCX, the pop star.
Oh yes, I forgot to add this bit of news.
She's supposed to be playing the witch,
who was
Tilda Swinton.
Yes.
Character. Which I mean, sure. I've never seen her act in anything.
I don't know her in any of her songs.
But I thought the witch would be like a known actress.
They need some people known in this,
like
because
a known actress with like sinister range, like a Cate Blanchett or
right. And this is Greta's this will be her first movie after Barbie, so I figured they would have a stacked cast for her. So
well, I mean, they were going to send her to Netflix originally. So
this is still Netflix. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I thought the Daniel Craig casting was odd because he was going in on Netflix about Glass or Knives Out not having theatrical releases.
But he didn't join us until she guaranteed that theatrical release.
Fair enough.
So that could be why.
Okay. And he's probably like, y'all got me for 20 minutes. Do what you can. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious of how this movie's going to differ from the other ones. Because those ones are pretty big. Right? Maybe? I don't know.
Probably won't. It's been so long.
It has been a while.
I didn't read the book, so I'm not sure if there's like a lot more stuff that they can pull from the book that they didn't pull. I mean, I'm sure.
I wonder if they're just trying to capture the newest generation.
I'm sure they only pull like 40% of the book material for the movie.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But I bet you they're trying to capture a new audience. They're trying to get the kids who didn't watch the first ones. And their parents didn't let them watch the first ones. Or their parents don't care.
With the first one? Oh.
Nothing. But I'm just saying, what their parents were just like, I don't want to bother with this. And they're like, we got you again because we about to redo all this for the second round.
Yeah. I like the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the first one.
Mm-hmm. I talk in line and get me every time.
The second and third one were kind of like forgettable.
No, that I don't remember.
And Aslan wasn't as prominent in the other 2. So.
I'm not watching them.
Yeah.
I'm here for the talking line.
Yeah, he wasn't super prominent in the other 2. So
I wonder who's going to voice the line in this one. That's probably going to be the biggest.
Ralph Ineson.
Ooh, that would be good.
That'd be good.
Knock on his door, y'all. He might be available.
That'd be good.
He's a busy man, though.
All right, next Super Crunch is Michael B. Jordan said he wants to do a Creed 4 with Jonathan Majors. That's not surprising. He's been bigging up Jonathan Majors in his interviews for a while now. Everybody know he was supposed to be in Sinners.
No, stop saying that.
He was.
He was not. Oh, okay. No, I
He didn't have to be the twin brother, but he was.
He was gonna be somebody in there.
Supposed to be in Sinners.
Probably
all the people in that hut.
It is a lot. The cast does look kind of sizable, so you're right.
Yeah,
I thought this was curious to say. So Jonathan Majors had an article come out in the Hollywood Reporter of because Magazine Dreams is about to come out finally, like wide release, and he went through his whole thing, and the article was about his troubles and how he got fired and how he trying to come back, whatever. But they talked to some other people in the industry, and Michael B. Jordan was one, and this is where he said it in this. He was quoted for the article for this. I'm not surprised because Creed 3 did very well.
It did. I didn't see it. But I don't think Creed 3 was for me.
It wasn't for me either, but no.
I think it was for you.
You're right.
You went to see.
Here's the funny part. I've never seen Creed 1. I've never seen Creed 2. And I only went to see Creed 3 for one particular reason. And
we don't know the things about the people until we know them.
It was after fact. It was literally like 2 weeks later, all that went down. I don't know if I'm sitting through no Creed 4 though. Like you get one sport movie out of me every 5 years, and I've seen my one.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm done.
F1. That'll be my one sports movie I've seen.
Okay, that'll be yours. Okay,
so
that'd be. Okay, yeah, and we'll see. I'm still iffy on F1 anyway, but it's not surprising. He kept quiet during the whole trial or whatever. Then he was like, "Okay, it's over." Yeah. That's still my homie though.
And it's been a while, I guess, since it's been over.
Right. I mean, I guess it just affirms that their whole press run was legit. Because some people was like, "When did y'all even know each other?
Yeah,
y'all been friends this whole time." So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he pays for it. They might make this movie.
Creed 4 absolutely get made.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna let him.
Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan work with each other almost exclusively. So
yeah, well, it's interesting. Ryan Coogler didn't do 3.
I definitely feel like he'll do 4 now.
Sure, he could. I mean, this movie will probably make $1 million,
especially after if Sinners is successful. Might as well keep the train with the both of y'all going.
Agreed.
And I guess they're doing a thing where an actor picks a director and just sticks with them, just like a lot of other people do.
I ain't hating on it. If it works, it works.
Christopher Nolan does it with a lot of people. So
I'm in favor of it as long as the movies are good.
Brad Pitt does it.
Woo-hoo.
Leo does it.
Oh, Leo does it with Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, that's what I meant, not Brad Pitt. Leo does it with Martin Scorsese. Yeah, so that's cool.
We'll see. Brad Pitt does it with John Watts. He's done it twice. I don't know if them movies is good though.
What was the John Watts movie?
Wolves and okay, maybe not. I made that up.
Okay.
Next.
Wolves wasn't a good example. I don't think Wolves was good.
I was going down a rabbit hole, and the rabbit hole was like full of dirt.
Next scoop of crunch. Sadie Sink has joined the cast of Spider-Man 4. Ooh. Her role is unknown. People are floating around.
Everything. Literally.
Uncle Ben.
I saw that.
Aunt Ben.
I think she retweeted one to somebody who said that with like laughing emojis. Like, that's hilarious. Yeah. The most egregious one was MJ. It's like, we have MJ.
MJ and Jean.
It's giving racism. I'll say it. Because we already have MJ. Mm-hmm. Her name is Zendaya. Yeah. And we ain't getting another one. Yeah. It's nice try. Y'all really thought Tom Holland was gonna let them erase his fiance from the movie? Come on.
The thing is, at this point now, she's, even though people didn't like the fact that Zendaya was MJ in the beginning, those idiots. It's been so long now that now they don't want her gone. Which is hilarious.
It was like a mix. It was a mix of fighting from the people who like, no, don't get rid of MJ, and people like, oh, we get a real MJ, and then they was just going back and forth. And I'm like, y'all, it's
so funny that you guys want a real MJ, but you don't like Spider-Man. You always say that the Spider-Man movies aren't good because
Tom Holland's the worst. Tom Holland's the worst Spider-Man. Like, what do y'all care then?
This Spider-Man is too reliant on being part of the rest of the MCU. He's not his own thing. This is why everybody liked your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, because they're like, oh, finally we're getting a Spider-Man that's not attached to the MCU, but now all of a sudden they want him to go back to the status quo. So
the fandom is a fickle beast. Yeah. And y'all gonna see these movies regardless. I don't care.
The Venn diagram between the smart complaints and the dumb complaints is a circle.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
I think that Spider-Man's surrounded by women, like, at all times.
The only person I would
she can't be Nico. She's not Asian. So.
Oh yeah, that would be a race bend. That would be very awkward.
Scarlett Johansson already did that.
The Asian queen gonna always be the Asian queen. Okay, don't be calling her
Asian
out.
Queen ScarJo.
She's gonna be a tree. She's an Asian
Asian tree.
queen and a tree.
She's a cherry blossom. Boo. It's terrible.
That joke will never die, and I hope she laughs when we continue to bring.
You're probably not allowed to ask her about.
You're probably not, but I hope whenever she sees a tweet of somebody like Asian princess, Asian queen, she like kind of gets a chuckle and don't be like irritated.
What do you think she's gonna play?
I do not want her to play Jean.
It wouldn't make any sense.
How?
Somebody was like, well, she could play Jean.
But how?
So at the end of Spider-Man, what was the last one? No Way Home?
Yes.
They kind of set up like we're gonna get GED community college Peter Parker.
Okay.
Like
yeah,
he's
they
going
did.
to like a local school instead of going to like a prestigious school because he didn't graduate with everybody else.
Right.
Jean would not be in a community college. Jean would be at the Xavier Institute.
Listen,
she wouldn't just be going to a regular New York school.
Hello, Jean not just walking around like she a nobody. She's Jean Grey.
And it's not like one of those things where like, oh, she hasn't gotten she was put into the Xavier Institute when she was a child because she was so dangerous.
We not retconning that.
So no.
Kevin, please don't.
Yeah.
Also, don't think they would introduce X-Men, a major X-Men character, in a Sony movie.
Not Jean.
Right.
Maybe Gambit or Jubilee.
Exactly.
Not Jean freaking Grey. Are we being serious?
Jean Grey?
As a side?
In a Sony movie?
As like not the main course?
Y'all gonna let Sony introduce Jean Grey? Come on.
No.
I don't like it.
No.
Whoever she is, I hope she is one of the other female Spider-Man characters that we ain't got yet.
Somebody said
else.
She could be playing Gwen because they do I
don't know.
All the Gwen actresses in the past have all been redheads.
Because Hollywood don't ever dye nobody's hair.
No.
Ever. Because why would they ever do that?
So
I don't
She could be Gwen.
Another love interest though?
Spider-Man surrounded by women.
But that means she's not gonna be around for very long. Right?
Not necessarily.
Eventually, he would go back to MJ.
She could be Spider-Gwen. They could be Spider-Gwen in her.
Okay.
They act like killing Gwen was like the worst sin ever committed. Let characters die. Let there be some.
It is fine.
But Uncle Ben is in heaven alone because they refuse to let anybody
heaven
else stay dead. So
empty.
If don't make her Gwen, I think you threw in Black Cat. I feel like Black Cat is a little too adult.
Do it.
Black Cat trends closer to like Catwoman.
Listen.
And I don't think Peter Parker's grown up enough for like a Catwoman. Not this one.
MCU. Kevin, spice it up. Firestar. I've heard.
I mean, like there are a bunch of random.
Good.
All the heroes live in New York.
Pick a random
anybody
female Spider-Man character for her to play, and let's not rehash somebody we've already seen. That's my vote. But we won't know. And
or she could be a normal person.
She could be Stu Next.
Yeah.
Well. Don't say Stu Next because that's too close to X-Men. Y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
Student number 4.
She could be just like a normal person.
Yeah. We'll see. We probably won't be finding out for a very long time. No. Or somebody's going to leak it. And Kevin's going to get the snipers on.
No, I think, but I was hearing her name floating around the MCU for a while, though.
It has been rumored. Yes.
This is the attachment to Spider-Man was random. That was the one random thing. It was like, they were never talking about her for Spider-Man. They were talking about her for...
It's interesting,
Jean.
though.
She would make a fine Jean.
She would make a Jean, but I hope she's not Jean in this. So I don't know.
No, absolutely
if she's
not.
in this, that means she's not Jean, which means whoever started that rumor was wrong.
I don't think they should introduce any X-Men until Secret Wars.
Agree.
Because it doesn't make sense for them to exist.
Let's not try to shoehorn people into places where they don't belong.
We just discovered adamantium. Wolverine doesn't exist in this universe, and you're telling me Jean Grey is walking around New York?
Thank you.
That doesn't make any sense.
Just minding her business, doing nothing?
Yeah. Logan, who's supposed to be pre-World War.
It doesn't. Right.
Even like
where is Scott?
Been a stat. Yeah, exactly.
Where's Storm? Where is
Storm's in Africa?
Okay, fine. Say she's in Africa. Where's Professor X? Where's Magneto?
Probably just breaking ground on the Xavier Institute.
But she grown though.
Yeah.
Okay, this says why
they don't exist in this universe.
See why this don't work? No, see why this don't...
I don't think the X-Men exist.
It would have made more sense for Jean to show up in Fantastic Four. That I would have believed.
Maybe mutants.
Fine.
Because the mutants can exist in any universe.
Well, we already have mutants. We got Namor.
X-Men?
Right,
no.
Thank you. We got Namor. Not. We got Ms. Marvel. Unless she's from a different planet or different universe, she can't be Jean.
And you're telling me Tiana Paris and Lashana Lynch are hanging out with a beast that doesn't know who a Jean is? No, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't want her to be Jean, but I like this casting of whoever else she is.
Yes.
Right.
I will enjoy her mystery character.
Exactly. Thank you.
Last scoop of crunch. Regina Hall says she's heard she will be returning for Scary Movie 6. And she quotes, I mean, that's what I'm hearing, so we'll see.
They better not.
I'm going to reiterate what we said about Wanda and the Vision Quest.
Yes.
Which is, if she's not in it, who's going to watch it?
I think I purposely would not watch it if she's not in it. I
love the Wayans brothers.
I'll wait.
But I don't see those movies for the Wayans
and
brothers.
Anna Faris.
I continued to see those movies after they were done being involved with them. And you know why? Because Regina Hall was still there. So.
Yeah. So we're going to need both Regina and Anna Faris.
Those are who matter.
That's it. I don't literally care who else y'all put in this movie. It could just be them two and some
they have
ghosts.
To be the stars. Don't pull no Freaky Friday mess where it's about their kids. I don't care about the newcomers.
Or pull I Know What You Did Last Summer where it's a whole new cast of young kids. And y'all know I hate new gangs. No.
I want to see Regina Hall, Anna Faris play the same characters they were playing before.
Yep. Don't even need to change
and acting like they don't remember that they've been through the situation before.
Exactly.
And making
they ain't smartened up or nothing.
No.
Just keep them the same.
Absolutely. So yeah.
She better had. I hope they cutting her the check and writing the contract.
That
because
guarantees the box office.
Don't make this movie without her. That's all I gotta say about this.
Yeah. And don't have her play second fiddle to like
nobody.
Some
new incomers. That's what I'm saying. That's what they do.
These new incoming comedians.
No,
they're not as funny as Regina Hall still.
Regina Hall is funny doing like speeches at award shows.
Yeah.
And she don't even be like planning it.
Thank you. Both her and Anna Faris.
So don't mess it up, y'all. Yeah. Don't mess this up. And you can mess it up real easy by casting the wrong people.
You can. Yeah.
Or not casting the right people, I should say.
So,
there we go.
So that's, I mean, where's Anna Faris?
She ain't said much of nothing, I don't think.
I know they're asking her. So.
They better be writing a check and cutting the check for her, too.
Yeah, so.
Both of them.
The Wayans brothers.
A pair. They are
Anna
a pair.
Faris, Regina Hall, the required recipe.
Mm-hmm. And we don't even care what the plot is. It don't matter.
What are they, I guess, there's so many movies. There's so much horror now.
There's
more horror, I feel like, now than it was then.
True.
So you got The Substance.
You got a ton of things. Black Phone, Substance, all of Jordan Peele's movies.
All of the Jordan Peele
movies. You can circle back to the Scream movies. We got movies like Trap.
You got the Midsommers. You got the Hereditaries.
They got a lot of material, but the casting and the people who need to be in this cast needs to be right. I'm not going to go see this.
Yeah.
That's my stance.
All right, so that is the end of the movie news, Trailer Park, and Buncha Crunch this week. We're going to take a short break and get into our review for Black Bag.
This week, we watched the movie Black Bag, which came out March 14th, 2025. It is directed by Steven Soderbergh. Now, if you somehow skipped all of our news and just came straight for the movie review, Steven Soderbergh is the director of, because we talked about this, the Oceans franchise, so Oceans 11, 12, and I believe also 13, Out of Sight, Traffic, Magic Mike, and a movie that we actually just saw not too long ago, The Presence. So and that's just like, I don't know, 1/8 of the movies he's made.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
He's been making a lot of movies, and a lot of good movies is that. Mm-hmm. Also, and I just thought this was useful to add, the writer is Dave, how you say his last name again?
I think it's Coep.
David Coep. He is the writer of this, and he also wrote, if you didn't catch our news, OG Jurassic Park, Mission Impossible, The Mummy, Presents.
Not The Good Mummy.
No, it is The Good Mummy. Wait.
The Tom Cruise Mummy?
Hold on, let me check. David, you're right. It's the 2017 Mummy. I should have took that off of there, but he wrote the Tom Cruise Mummy.
Okay.
So not everything is a hit.
Part of that in the hotel.
Not everything is a hit. It's fine. It's fine. But if I knew it was the other one, I would have not mentioned it. He also wrote The Presents, and he wrote the Jurassic Park Rebirth. So he is the Jurassic Park man. That's what I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
Cast and characters of Black Bag include Kate Blanchett, plays Catherine St. Dean. I didn't realize they had different last names in this until now. Michael Fassbender plays George Woodhouse. So Catherine and George are the couple of the movie. Marissa Abella plays Clarissa DeBose. Tom Burke, and if Tom Burke sounds familiar to you, in this he plays Freddie Smalls, but he also played Praetorian Jack.
Yes.
From Mad Max Furiosa. And I stared at him for 93 minutes and was like, where do I know you from? And I couldn't look it up because I don't want to be spoiled.
Backtrack real quick. Marissa Abella, you did not know this.
Nope.
Because we didn't know where we seen her from. And I haven't seen this either, but she played Amy Winehouse.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah.
She could play. Oh, is that the movie that do so well? Kind of came
No. It did not do well.
Okay.
But I think they liked her performance.
Okay.
So
probably wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
Also, Naomi Harris, who we love from a bunch of stuff.
Calypso.
Yeah, Calypso, not
Callisto.
I knew you meant
Who's Callisto?
Callisto is
She's from X-Men.
Okay. I was like, was that the character from Craven? But that was also Calypso, right? She was Calypso on both.
That was also a Calypso.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Naomi Harris plays Calypso in Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
So good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been in a bunch of other stuff. She's also Moneypenny.
Yes.
We mentioned that earlier. She's a legend.
Yes.
She is the moment.
She's been around for a while.
Raja, I say his name wrong.
Ray J.
I say it every single time. Ray J?
Mm-hmm.
Ray J Jean Page.
Like Brandy's brother.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Now, I will never get it wrong, and it'll probably be 12 years before he
Okay.
Ray J Jean Page plays James Stokes. Last thing we saw him in was probably Dungeons and Dragons. But he was good in that.
Yeah, he was really good in that. Very funny.
He was good in that. So, and I wonder why he's not in more things. But anyway, he plays a character, James, and then Pierce Brosnan plays Arthur Stieglitz.
Stieglitz? I think it's Stieglitz.
Stieglitz.
Yeah.
It ain't an episode unless I screw somebody's name up 4 times over. So, those are our cast and characters. Pierce. We do. Everybody in this was good.
Yeah. These are actors.
This cast was casting.
Even
okay,
Marissa.
A+ to the casting director for this.
Yeah.
So this movie was only an hour and 33 minutes. Perfect.
Sweet spot.
just perfect.
Right in the sweet spot.
It could have been a minute longer, a minute shorter. Budget was $50 million though.
I found that confusing.
That the budget was so high.
It had to be the cast
and a director
because. They didn't really go to very many places.
They
went to about 3 places in this.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the rent.
And they didn't need to
That was the cost of the rent on the brownstone.
Could have been anywhere because you couldn't. I mean, unless you right. The house. The house was maybe
it was Kate Blanchett's jackets.
Listen, the wardrobe in this was expensive.
The wig budget.
The tree in the house. I don't know.
I don't know where the $50 million was.
Which is so interesting because the presents was like $2. So
it was. And this could have been a small budget film.
It could have been like 15, 20.
Yeah.
I don't know, which sucks because the box office is not great, y'all.
It's not great, which
2.8 million domestically, 7 to 9 million. 2.8 was opening day. 7 to 9 million projected for opening weekend. That ain't good.
And this is production. This isn't marketing.
No, and normally for movie budgets, you times it by 2 to 2.5 to get what it would get to just break even.
Maybe, because did they market this really?
They didn't, but it ain't making 50 million though. I don't think I don't know.
I'm shocked. I'm still thinking over it. I'm still not saying where the 50
It's high. It's high. And the movie looks good, but it doesn't look good because it's like CG and sci-fi effects. Like, it just looks good because everybody look good.
30 million more would have made Alien Romulus.
I just don't.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You could have made this for 30 million.
Unfortunately, and it's funny because some of the reviews were talking about, bring back mid-budget movies. And I'm like, that's great, but this didn't need to cost $50 million. And I usually don't be picky about budgets, but
no, yeah.
It's just a lot.
Just didn't see it
compared to the box office,
yeah.
And that's not good. And we like the movies that we like to do good at the box office traditionally.
We talked about Mickey 17's total budget plus marketing being like $300 million.
Yeah, Mickey need to make and
it didn't look like an Avengers Endgame level film, and it didn't have that stacked of a cast to make sense for that much of a budget.
Mickey's budget was 118, so you do your 2.5. It's a big number, and I don't think it's making 119. It's touch and go.
Listen. The creator. That's all I say.
And Alien Romulus is also a good $80 million movies that I don't think creator did great because it was like the pandemic and they couldn't market it. But
for what it accomplished with the money that it had. Yes.
Good. And it looks
amazing.
More than $80 million. That's perfect
Mm-hmm.
example of a movie. Like, it only cost that much?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the heck they spent this money on with this movie, but as it's in danger of not making this money back. Ratings wise, cinema score is a B, which I highly disagree with. Wake up.
Almost every movie
Wake
got
up.
like a B this weekend.
Did nobody like nothing?
I don't think everybody was in a bad mood. The state of the world is crap.
Even the faith-based movie got like an A-, and those movies always get A+.
Yeah, so.
I mean, the Jesus freaks are always like, oh, we love to talk about Jesus for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Even they were like A-, not good enough.
Nobody was in a good mood this weekend.
Novocaine got a B. And people been hyping that movie up.
Yeah. Novocaine didn't look like it was like a masterpiece, but it looked like it was supposed to just be fun, dumb action.
But it got good, like, I think, let me see, just because I'm already got Rotten Tomatoes up. Novocaine got 82, 87 for Rotten Tomato scores, which, I don't know.
Regular B.
Like a B+, maybe?
No, regular B. I mean, that's what it got on cinemas. Yeah, so it's strange. Maybe Middle America just wasn't in a good mood. I think that's where they poll.
They need to poll.
They don't poll like New York.
I'm starting to squint my eye at cinema school. But anywho, the Rotten Tomato scores for Black Bag, 97 for critics, which, I mean, obviously they liked it. 74 for audience. So, most people still like 74 is not bad. That means 7 out of 10-ish people thought it was a good movie.
Rewatching the trailer, I will say that the trailer makes it seem like there would be more action in the movie.
Fair.
So maybe that's what people went for in their spy film.
You know what? I'm curious. What did the presents get for now? Well, what is the presents at now, I guess I should say.
I think the presents had like a C cinema score.
Yeah. Presents got a C+.
Oh, what a plus.
Yeah, right, which is not great. I mean, for a horror, quote unquote, you can't see my air quotes. Oh, okay. Presents got 88.52.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Expectations were probably not met for that. So, critics-wise, Steven Soderbergh's doing well for his 2 movies he got out this year. So, good
Maybe
for
it's
him.
a marketing thing. They're not being marketed. Well, this wasn't marketed at all. No. But the Presidents was marketed incorrectly.
Horribly.
Yes.
So, the movie wasn't horrible, but the marketing of how they tried to do it.
They lied. That's just what it is. They just lied.
Yeah. It's like that Pearl. Is it Pearl? Clip where she's talking about you lied.
Yeah, she's like, why don't you like me?
Yeah, it's definitely that. Those are the facts about, in our opinions, about the numbers and figures for Black Bag. Jay, can you give us the plot?
Sure. Black Bag is about Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett play a married couple who work in espionage. Michael Fassbender is tasked with finding out who at their agency is a traitor.
Yes.
Somebody has leaked some information. He is a master interrogator.
A mole.
Yes, he is a master interrogator that nobody is able to lie to. So everybody on this cast list that we listed is a suspect for being the traitor, in addition to his wife.
Correct.
And that's the big conflict in the movie, is whether or not he, being the master interrogator, has what it takes to figure out if his wife is lying to him, and to take her down if he has to.
Correct. That's a good synopsis. So let's get into our non-spoiler thoughts first. So we won't spoil the movie for you yet. We'll let you know when we get there. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
This is a very good spy thriller. Now, if you into a whodunit, you into a movie that look like everybody looks fine and glistening and they showered and they bathed and all that jazz.
Very rich.
If you
rich.
like a Ocean's 11, which is also by Steven Soderbergh, you will really like this movie. It is not like you said, it's not, if you went into this thinking you were going to get like an action, a Mission Impossible situation, this ain't for you. It's not that.
Just sidebar, the Steven Soderbergh talked about how he told Cate Blanchett when she portrayed her character to embrace like the glamour.
Okay.
You can see that in the movie.
The way she even walk rich.
Yes. Everybody is very rich.
That girl look like she got no money problems. So yeah, it is very much Ocean's 11 vibe. So if you liked all that, and the Ocean's 11 it wasn't like the sexy spy thriller, but it definitely had like everybody was like clean cut. Everything was like luxurious, and it was like, Vegas high life and all that.
Lots of scenes of people walking.
Long takes. So lots of long takes. So it's got that spy vibe, which I really liked and what I was looking for. I already said it's not an action movie, but it keeps your attention. So I think some of the reviews I read thought they felt it was slow. I just think you got a short attention span because this movie's not slow.
No, and even in the slow parts, the whole point of the movie is to figure out who's the liar.
You're supposed to be listening.
So you have to pay attention. Yes. Because we're following Michael Fassbender, who's supposed to figure out who's lying. So you're supposed to pay attention.
And and how you found out how people are lying, or if they're lying to you, you got to talk to them. You got to kind of put them in certain situations. You got to listen, behavior. Observing. Yeah. So yes, if you think this movie is we don't think it's slow.
No.
But for people who think it's slow, I think you just don't have a long enough attention span. I'm just gonna call it how it is.
What's a movie that we just saw that was an hour and a half and we felt like we were there all day?
The last third of Mickey 17.
Yes. Oh man.
And that movie is an action movie.
Yeah.
And I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to go. So yeah, there is an art of pacing in this movie, especially when your movie's not an action movie,
right? Or
like a war movie or something like that. I already mentioned everybody looks good. The people look good. The house look good. The pot roast look good. Everything in this movie is like delicious.
People audibly said the house was nice. When I said it, somebody next to us was like, "Ooh, that's a nice house."
There were like 5 people in our row. It's the 2 of us and then like a family a couple of seats down, and literally like wasn't even quiet about it. It was like, "Ooh, this house is nice." Yeah. We started laughing because Jay said it like 2 seconds before then. So yes, movie looks good. I loved all the characters. I wouldn't take out nobody. I wouldn't add anybody. Just the cast list is longish. But, it's not just like the couple. We have other people around the couple. Mm-hmm. Leads and supportings, all great. Loved all of them. This movie has a nice amount of humor, which I wasn't expecting. And it's not goofy humor. It's well-placed, well-timed. Even everybody kind of has like a funny moment. Already mentioned great pacing and runtime. And you already just said it. You got to pay attention. And that's not a bad thing. You go to a movie for an hour and a half, you can pay attention. Yeah. It's fine. So yes, those are my non-spoiler thoughts.
My non-spoiler thoughts. I liked this movie.
It's good, yeah.
I loved this movie. I thought it was really fun and really good. It's a good short mystery. I enjoy hour and a half movies, and I think that's the sweet spot. Not because I'm one of those people who's like, I don't want to be in a movie theater. I'm fine watching a movie. Listen, I've watched the extended cuts of all the Lord of the Rings from front to back.
I mean, the last couple of Avengers movies was almost 3 hours.
I like long movies. I'm fine with long movies. I'm just really impressed by people who are able to tell a good full movie, and I feel satisfied with only having been there for an hour and a half. Like that's a skill. Some people write 3-hour movies and still don't get their point across. So
and you just ready to go.
I enjoyed the fact that it was short and it was good and it did exactly what I needed it to do. Like you said, great acting from the whole cast. Everybody was acting. And I love the fact that everybody got a moment to shine.
Agreed.
Literally everybody had like a long dialogue moment or several. Even like I think the smallest role in the movie went to Marissa Abella's character.
Or Pierce Brosnan, maybe.
Pierce Brosnan's character.
But even
he had
when he
moments.
was on the screen, I was like, okay, suits.
Yeah.
Okay, suits.
Everybody had like an acting moment.
They did.
And it was really good.
They did.
It's a very good mystery. Very straightforward mystery, but you still don't know the answer.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say is because it's written so well. I think is why.
And I think because you go into it knowing that somebody is lying, so that kind of forced me to pay attention.
Right.
To even if it was slow, like maybe they weren't supposed to be talking. Maybe we're supposed to be looking at something they're doing. Like there's a scene where there's a guy in this movie who dies, and his scene by himself was slow, and I didn't know. I was expecting something to happen, and then he died, and I was like, oh, maybe I was supposed to pay attention to something he was doing.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's random sidebar. That's a Skarsgård.
Yeah,
Meacham was. I was like, oh,
is he a brother?
I don't know. He related.
Because I don't think he's a brother.
He is
Gustav Skarsgård.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he is a brother.
Stellan is his daddy.
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
Crazy.
Well, okay. Well, I didn't know if he was a brother or not.
Oh Lord, they just
so the Skarsgårds and the Hemsworths.
Right. Yeah, you can claim it. That third one, I don't know what he be doing.
I mean, he's been in something. Okay. But yeah, I the moments that weren't like dialogue heavy or didn't have like action going on, I was paying attention to what the people were doing because somebody's supposed to be a liar,
right?
And it doesn't have to be Cate Blanchett. It's heavily implied that it could be Cate Blanchett. You don't know who it is.
The trailer heavily implies it, so you go into the movie like, oh, Cate up to something, and then as the movie goes, you like,
maybe
is it just Cate?
Is it just Cate?
Is it Cate by herself?
Right?
Is it not Cate?
Is it not Cate at all? So
what the heck is going on?
You have to really do a good job of paying attention to things not only people do, but things not only things people say, but things people do. But also, the mystery on the surface was very interesting because Michael Fassbender plays an investigator. He's trying to find a traitor. He's finding all the right clues that it could be his wife, and Cate Blanchett's also having weird coincidental meetings at the same time that he's having his investigation. So it's very straightforward mystery. But then upon rewatch and hindsight, you don't realize that maybe everybody's doing what they're doing for a completely different purpose than what Michael Fassbender's looking to get to.
This movie is worth, we're not into like our spoilers, and this is not a spoiler. This movie is worth a rewatch.
Yes, it is.
For sure.
On the surface mystery, and then there's a, why are people actually doing what they're doing?
Right, and you're not going to be able to catch it on one watch.
Right. And yeah, so I like the fact that by the end, it makes you think that maybe two things were happening at the same time.
Correct.
Very funny.
Humor was there.
And they're just not like moments played for laughs.
It's just how the characters was acting. They all spies. They all work in spycraft. So they all are professional liars. And it's just funny watching very grown adult professional liars have conversations. They're very sarcastic. They are very sarcastic. Maybe that's what it was.
And maybe because they all like have to second guess each other and everything.
They can't play it straight with each other.
So a lot of their lines are sarcasm. It's very funny.
Yes.
And the last thing I'll say is that I think Marissa Abella was my standout.
Agree.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen her in nothing, but I was like, put her in more things, please.
And as the main, Pierce Brosnan is main cast, but he's not in the movie as much as the rest of the cast is. So she probably had the smallest role. She still had the main. She had a lot to do. Yeah. But the smallest bit to do out of everybody. Yeah. Maybe second to Tom. Maybe Tom Burke was.
Her and Tom Burke might have been neck and neck on screen time.
But she did a lot with what she had. She was good. She was good.
The rent was due. Okay. And she was like, I'm going to make this scene happen.
She did a great job with her role.
She was very good. Yeah.
All
right. So that is it for our non-spoiler thoughts. If you don't be spoiled, go watch this first and then have a good time. Come back and then listen to the rest of our review. See if you agree or disagree or whatnot. But now we're going to get into our spoiler section for this in 3, in 2, and 1. So we have quite a few characters. So let's be snappy about it, I guess, because we could probably spend a lot of time on everybody in this because that's how good they was. But first up, we have Cate Blanchett, who plays the wife of the couple Catherine St. Dean,
who is the lead, which I did not know was going to be the lead going into this.
You didn't think so?
I thought Michael Fassbender would be the lead.
You don't think they're co-leads?
In the movie, yes, but I didn't expect her to be like...
You thought maybe we would just follow her versus her doing stuff?
I thought we would follow Michael Fassbender.
Okay. And we're following
and wonder what Cate Blanchett was doing.
Okay.
But we follow both.
Correct. You're right. Yes. And I mean, Cate Blanchett first, Cate Blanchett. She's acting there's no notes there.
Yeah. I mean, she's great. She's so
great.
Good.
Now, her character, on the other hand...
She kind of reminded me of Wanda a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting parallel. Her character is very much like... We don't have a couple where one's kind of like a goofball and one's kind of like the more serious one, like on Severance, where the husband's like a goof and the wife is obviously the smart one. They both even kill.
Yeah, they're both match made in heaven.
Right. They're both smart. They both good at their jobs. They both are known at their jobs. They are both. I was wondering if the couple was gonna be one of those typical couples like they hate each other and they just marry for convenience. No.
Outside of them being spies, they're very regular.
They are very regular. They have dinner together. They go to the movies together.
No kids, and they love it.
No kids. And Cate Blanchett, there was a line where Cate Blanchett was like, life of no kids. I'm like, girl.
That's why our house was so nice.
It was very... You couldn't have no tree in no house. You got little kids. And you ain't cooking no pot roast like that either. But she was just very polished. Her character is very much about her business, which I liked. And I like the fact that it wasn't a situation where one partner was like the goof and then one was like the serious one. No, she plays a very much like a woman who's kind of also trying to work her way up, obviously.
Yes.
And she, they didn't touch on it too much, but she apparently the job is giving her like trouble sleeping. We don't touch on that a whole lot.
She has issues from like childhood, I think.
She does. And we don't get too much into that, but I like the fact that maybe that we didn't because it wasn't a situation where the wife is kind of like the emotional, downtrodden, beat up, depressed one.
Yeah.
And she ain't perfect because she's human, but she about her business and she also got, issues, just like everybody else.
I feel like they did that.
Mm-hmm.
They only gave us enough to kind of suss out why it could be her.
Okay, and it humanized her.
Yes.
Because, you think of a spy, you don't think of, like, them living their regular lives. And we actually see our spies living their regular lives. So it humanized her, but it didn't take away. I like that they didn't make her, like, some helpless, emotional, I'm doing this because I have bad dreams and everybody hurt me kind of situation.
So before we go into the rest of the characters,
yeah.
So what Michael Fassbender is investigating, all of these people we're about to go through.
Yes.
He's investigating them because Severus, I thought it was Cerberus.
It's Severus, like Severus Snape.
Yes, which I love now more than
Cerberus.
So Severus is basically a malware program that if you plug into a nuclear reactor, it will cause a nuclear meltdown. So it's been stolen. It was made in-house at their agency.
Right.
And that's what he's investigating. He's investigating one of them has stolen it.
And potentially about to sell it.
Right. They haven't sold it yet. And he has a week to figure it out to stop it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she is a suspect. Suspect number 1, kind of.
Because she works in security.
Yes.
IT security.
Everybody works together. So they all co-workers too, which makes
building.
it same floor, probably.
Yeah, same floor too.
So yeah, she is our suspect number 1. You have what did you think about Cate Blanchett?
I thought she did really good. She played a very good character who's cold on the surface to other people who aren't Michael Fassbender.
Agree. Yes.
So because when she's having conversations with people who aren't Michael Fassbender or Naomi Harris, for example,
she's not very warm and cuddly.
She's not very warm and cuddly, but it's not because she's a cold person.
Right.
It's just because she works in spycraft and you don't spill your
you.
business to your coworkers, even if you are
right.
friends.
You're right.
You keep it to yourself, and I think that becomes clear at the end of the movie why you don't do that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I like the fact that she wasn't like a cold, calculating, sneaky person.
Right.
She just kind of liked her job, liked her husband. She wanted to have both, and she was working for somebody that she didn't particularly like.
Yeah, now he was cold. Her boss, the boss of everybody, is Arthur, who's played by Pierce Brosnan.
Once again. So she's not that person.
Right.
She just has to put on that face for the work purposes. She did a very good job at switching between the two modes.
Yes, agree.
She did a very good job at playing confused. It's very clear that she has a hunch that Michael Fassbender is acting weird.
Yes, but she doesn't know why.
But she does not know why.
Well, let me put it this way. We think she don't know why.
She's playing that. It's being played out that she doesn't know why because she's a suspect.
Right.
So...
Right, and we're made to think like, well, she's playing like coy or, aloof because she's trying to be like, oh, he might be on to me. Let me not like.
And they kind of show that in the trailer. She kind of gives like a Gone Girl vibe where you're not sure if she's like crazy and actually doing bad stuff, right? Or if she's just being oblivious. She does a very good job at making you guess that.
Yes.
Wardrobe was amazing.
Listen, her little They have 2 dinner scenes. The opening dinner scene, I don't even know how to describe it. Was it like a throw? A silk shirt?
Yeah, it was like,
it
was some type of 2-piece that looked like it could like teetering on the edge of loungewear.
Right, but it was like chic and dressy enough to be a dinner.
Very rich.
It
flowed. It like matched her skin tone.
It was moving. And when she was going down the stairs, I was like, somebody give me the deets on this outfit.
The wig was good.
I liked her hair color in this.
Yeah, it was like it was like a Wanda wig.
Yeah, I don't know if we get this color that often.
Auburn wig a little bit.
Yeah, a little red.
I liked it.
It complimented her outfits, actually.
Everything in the movie looked great.
There's no complaints.
Yeah.
No.
The last thing I'll say about her is I liked her chemistry with Michael Fassbender.
Agree.
I think they made a very good couple.
Agree with that.
Whether you thought that they were against each other or with each other, or you weren't sure, they still seemed like a really good couple. They had very good chemistry, and I felt like their relationship was believable.
Yeah, I just like the fact that they weren't like the typical arguing couple that hate each other like we get in a lot of movies, especially when the characters either work at the same place or they have a job where they can't talk to each other about certain things.
Yeah.
So I like that we got a happy couple.
Them being together made sense.
Agree.
Whereas the only thing I can think of right now is like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and Mr. and Mrs. Smith didn't seem like it didn't make sense that they would go together, that they would be together. It just made sense for the sake of the movie.
Yeah, and I would think to the same people, same cast or same director and writer, The Presents.
The Presents. I didn't know why that man stuck with Lucy Liu, and I love Lucy Liu.
Why is y'all together?
She was insufferable.
Right. Movie. I'm glad we didn't get that couple in this movie. Thank God.
Michael Fassbender plays George Woodhouse, which reminds me of Archer's butler, an Archer. His name Woodhouse.
Okay. I was like, where's he going with this? Michael Fassbender, I don't have any notes for him either. There is a scene where his character has a freak out moment, and he played that scene to the letter. I was like, is Michael Fassbender having a freak out moment?
It's very weird because both Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender, I've seen them be these type of characters before in other stuff, but they weren't the same in this movie.
Maybe because they were together?
They seemed more human in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Michael Fassbender play a character that's had a freak out.
Well, and his freak out is in the midst of his character having it all together. So in the rest of the movie, he's like, he's kind of stoic. He's about his business. He need to find out who stole Severus. Like, he not playing, and he about to question everybody and by any means necessary to get to the answer. But there's one particular part of the movie for maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, his character's losing it. Yeah. And he's sweating and he's shaking and he's nervous. And you like, dude, you need to chill out. Somebody gonna know what's going on.
I'm watching it like you're making it very obvious that you have done something wrong.
I mean, he's pouring water into a bottle and the bottle is shaking like he is about to lose it.
Everybody at the table has perfect posture. He's like hunched over, freaking out.
Yeah.
And so he's supposed to be like this master interrogator. Nobody can lie to him. So
never let us see him sweat.
So the whole movie, he's asking everybody pointed questions. And I think my favorite thing that I liked about Michael Fassbender is that he's very clear in the very beginning of the movie that he's investigating somebody has stolen something.
Correct.
If it is his wife, he's not going to treat her the same way he treats everybody else. And I like the fact that he's very clear about that.
One of my favorite movie couples.
Very early on, that he's like, I'm used to taking people down. Yeah. If it is my wife, I would not be taking her down. I would be taking down whoever is in her way.
Right. There's a scene where she's like, will you lie for me? Will you kill for me? He's like, yeah. Yeah, and at first you're kind of like, oh, he's just saying this because he investigating her.
Or she's so good at manipulating him.
Right, like, they ain't being for real.
Right.
They were being for real.
No, they were being for real.
They will literally lie. They will literally lie and steal and make sure each other is good.
His mindset was, if you have done this, right, I'm going to have to take care of this, and then we're going to have to talk about it after. Right. But
if you get caught with some shenanigans, I'm going to get you out of the shenanigans, and then we will talk about it later. We can have a private
discussion about your actions and your behavior after.
Over a pot roast and some wine.
And that was one of my notes is, one of his very first lines in the movie is, some things deserve to be swept under the rug. And that was my first clue that was like, you're going to protect your wife no matter what.
He did say that. Oh, I forgot about that.
He was talking to the Scar. Yeah, Meacham. About wives, about relationships. Meacham's wife was upset with him because he's a cheater. Right. Michael Fassbender was like, some things are just better left under the rug. And that was my first clue that was like, I don't think he's going to side with his wife if she is the suspect.
That's probably my favorite aspect of the movie is the fact that you think that the movie is setting up like, oh, he's about to go find out who it is and he have to take his wife out. He was not taking his wife out. No. He was taking out whoever his wife was dealing with. But he wasn't taking his wife out. I was like, I love it.
And that wasn't secret. He told that he made that line drop to Meacham. Right. And then when he was working with Clarissa, who is basically, we'll get to her next, but Clarissa she works in the security sector.
Yeah, she works
with the satellites.
There you go.
We're not spies. We don't know the official titles. She works with, she controls the satellite feed.
She's controlling God's eye.
But he makes it very clear to her. He's like, this is the life.
Right.
My wife is in some mess. I get her out the mess. Right. And then we figure out how we're going to get around that after fact. But my wife ain't going to prison.
Right. She ain't going down with the shit.
She's not going to jail.
How about that? And it was funny because Clarissa responds like, oh my God, that's so hot. And he's like, whatever. Right. I'm being for real.
I'm not serious. My wife's not going to prison.
I'll take you out. That's what it means.
Right.
But I'm protecting my wife.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was a part of the movie that's not obvious by the trailer. I was like, oh, we about to save it. by any means necessary territory.
Clarissa DuBose is played by Marissa Abella, who was my favorite character.
I was gonna say I liked everybody in this movie outside of Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. She was great, and she was great because I guess she's the youngest of the crew.
Yeah, everybody's older,
right?
Been in the career for a while,
right? And I don't think she has like as much security clearance or whatever, but she's dating Tom Burke's character Freddie. So this is how she's kind of in the loop because she's dating one of them.
Because he's I think on Michael Fassbender's level at the agency.
Correct. Correct. I think Michael Fassbender might be his boss. I'm not sure. Anyway,
they're close.
Right? Like they are friends,
and they seem to be friends,
right?
Yeah.
As spies. But Clarissa's character is in the loop because she's dating Freddie, and she's not. She's trying to juggle being a spy and living a regular life, and she don't like the fact that she can't communicate with people outside of the spy organization, but she also don't like the fact that everybody inside the organization just is a liar. But she delivered a lot of the sense of humor in this. And it wasn't like, she trying to tell a joke. It's just how her character was. And she plays a very much like, yeah, I'm about my business and I work here, but some of y'all suck and I hate it.
That whole dinner scene reminded me of Erica Mena in Master of None when she was having a conversation with the older adults about feet and toes.
Yes.
And she just seemed too young for the dinner time conversation.
She also reminded me of our character that we really like from Hard Eyes, her best friend. But
yes.
She wasn't as like a goofy, I guess, but she was very much kind of like, I mean, I'm serious, but I'm also not serious. She wasn't
stupid. She was young.
Right. Yeah. She was young.
She was much younger than the crowd.
That was her fault, is that she was young. And she hadn't quite learned, like, not how to be a spy, but like to be in this business, you got to operate your life a particular way. You can't have it both ways.
I don't think she's been in, and I think because she hasn't been in it as long as they have, because they're all very posh and very cold and very hardened, and she's just kind of like, oh, I'm here to have a good time.
Right. This not a long time.
She thinks the job's supposed to be fun.
And she's learning that it's not. Poor child. But she has a lot of funny lines and scenes. And her relationship with Freddie is a hot mess, and we see that play out in the movie. And her and Freddie's dynamic, it's funny. They had good chemistry because they both wild, and they kind of belong together.
They're both a mess, but he's older and she's younger.
She's a young mess. He an old mess.
And I think that they did a very good job. So everybody in this is a liar.
Pretty much.
Everybody. And they are very upfront about that. And she's the most upfront about the fact that she's a liar, I think, because she's kind of like, I think she's supposed to be the audience looking at the rest of the characters. Like, y'all are weird.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how y'all are able to operate and still be in love and still have regular relationships and life and stuff like that. Right. She was lying about cheating on Freddie. Yeah. Her and Freddie's issue was that he's a cheater and she's a cheater, but they're both lying to each other about their cheating.
Oh my God.
And that's where there's her best moment, I think, two best moments.
Okay.
Is when she's having a conversation with Michael Fassbender about relationships. That's where
when he shows up at her house?
Yes.
Okay.
So because he's investigating all of them and she controls the satellites, he's looking into his wife. He goes to her to ask her to
do the thing at your job.
Do the thing at the job so he can hijack a satellite to spy on his wife.
Right.
And she goes on a long tangent about how it's crazy how people who work in their industry are able to have relationships because they're all liars.
Right.
And they all have the perfect excuse, black bag, which I guess
it's like code for I'm going to go do something, but I can't tell you what it is.
Yeah. So basically, if you have a secret in your relationship, you put it in a black bag.
Right.
So it's like we can't talk about it because we're both spies and
right.
Blah, blah,
or you're
blah.
Doing something for work and you're not supposed to tell the other person what you're doing. You just say black bag.
She had a very good monologue where she talked about not being able to date outside of being a spy and why she stayed with Freddie, even though she stabbed him in the hand, and they had a whole conversation about infidelity.
Right.
And it made sense. It made sense that she was like, yeah, of course she stayed with Freddie. When he was knows. Like, Michael Fassbender was like, it's awkward that you stayed with Freddie after you stabbed him in the hand. She was like, yeah, because he's a liar. I'm a liar. She was like, what am I supposed to do? Date somebody outside of this world who wouldn't understand?
Right.
She barely understands.
Right.
And I love that monologue.
She's good in that.
The second scene, which I think I'll save for my favorite liner scene.
Okay.
Which was her second scene in it, which was the interrogation scene.
Oh, she was.
Everybody gets an interrogation. We get like a montage interrogation.
We get a perfect montage interrogation scene, and shout out to whoever did the editing of that, because we flip flop between all the characters as Michael Fassbender's answering the questions. But when he asks a question, we may start with one person and flip to another person, like, and you don't really know who he's asking till they show the person. It's a very good edited scene.
Even though it's like a montage and it kind of runs together. Yeah, she had the best interrogation.
She did. Oh, it's so funny. Was the best. This movie is almost worth it just for that.
And I think that was the moment of intentional comedy. There weren't very many scenes of like, you're supposed to laugh at this haha. But
she was trying to be funny.
That was a haha moment.
She was trying to be funny. All right, let's get up to her boo, Freddie, who is Michael Fassbender, George's characters. They're like you said, they're on the same level. Freddie is cheating on Clarissa, but he doesn't know that Clarissa's cheating on him. It becomes a whole back and forth, but he basically stayed with Clarissa because she knows the business, and he also says she don't ask for nothing.
Yeah.
And he's obviously been married, and he's got like kids and stuff. We don't ever meet them.
Yeah.
They're not really that important. But Freddie is also lying about who he first tries to lie that he's not cheating. And George calls him out at the first dinner. That's how he gets stabbed in his hand.
Yeah.
And then we find out later in the movie who he's cheating with, and we all assume that it was some unknown random person, but it ended up being somebody else who we're going to talk about next.
Right.
But as far as Tom Burke's portrayal, very good. He's obviously an alcoholic.
Yes.
He does that part very well, but somehow he's functional during the day.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of... The only other thing I think I've seen him in was Furiosa.
Yeah.
He didn't get a lot of speaking roles in that.
No.
He didn't talk a lot.
No.
But he was in it for a good chunk of the movie. He did really good with monologues.
He did. His interrogation scenes were pretty good. Clarissa's definitely stood out. His was pretty good because we kind of learned that he does have some resentment towards George's character, and then that kind of leads to him being like, oh, okay, you also might now be moving up on a suspect list.
Yeah, it was apparently between Tom Burke and Regé-Jean Page's character for a promotion. Michael Fassbender gave it or recommended Regé-Jean Page.
And he's the one who got it. But they all still got to work together. And we find out that Freddie got his own agenda for other things in the movie too. But the portrayal was good. I liked his character. He did have some funny moments as well.
I think that my favorite scene of his was probably the dinner sequence at the end.
I actually liked his dinner sequence at the beginning because my dumb butt believed him. I actually thought he wasn't cheating.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That was probably convinced. Better. Yeah.
I was like, you know what, girl, he's not cheating. And
he went on a long monologue about how she was nuts and it was all in her head. Her
fault.
I mean, the gaslighting was insane.
Perfect.
But
Perfect
she
gaslighting.
was also gaslighting him, which was crazy because
we don't know
didn't realize
later.
that until later.
Because Michael Fassbender doesn't call her out at that moment. He only calls him out. And I was like, oh, dang, he almost had me convinced. So he did very good. I was like, oh, he's not cheating on her. Yeah, he was.
I didn't realize that they were all drugged at the dinner table in the beginning.
Yes, remember because he told Catherine, don't eat the such and such, and he put some truth serum or something in one of the dinner side dishes that he made.
So it affected Tom Burke the most.
Probably.
I didn't realize that everybody had been drugged with the truth serum in the opening dinner.
And he specifically told Catherine not to eat the one thing that he put it in. And that's why they were all looking at them like, y'all crazy.
Do people usually go for drinks before they go to dinner?
These people probably do.
I mean, that's rich. That's so rich.
It's rich and spy. Like what they drink, they probably drink like crazy outside of work.
That's I mean, to leave.
And it was a fancy looking restaurant.
It was. It did not look like it was
Even
cheap.
the restaurants looked good.
They had a table. They had to reserve a table, and all they did was get drinks.
And Tom Burke paid for everybody because he was like late or something. So they meet up before going to Catherine and George's house, and they all think it's weird that they all got invited. So they don't know that he's basically inviting them to question him.
Yeah, because they're talking about at the house. Catherine and George are preparing for dinner.
Yeah.
And then we get an entirely separate scene with the rest of the cast out for drinks. And it's already late.
It's dark.
And I'm thinking like, okay, this can't be the people they're having over for dinner because they're clearly already out. And
then
they all
drinks.
like finish their drink and go to the house. I'm like, y'all got twisted at the bar.
That's why Freddie was already jacked up. Because we were watching the dinner scene and I was like, why is Freddie already drunk? They literally have split one bottle of wine.
Right.
But you're right. They met up for drinks before they even went to the first dinner.
Too rich.
It was some rich spy stuff for sure.
Naomi Harris plays Dr. Zoe Vaughn. So she is the therapist who works at the agency,
Correct.
who's in charge of making sure everybody's mentally well to stay on the job.
And it sounds like they have mandatory meetings with her.
Which makes sense.
Probably. Because they all
spies
and they all got like, trauma from their past jobs and stuff. She was very good at playing somebody who, I was like, she's on the suspect list. But then you're kind of like, well, what is her motivation? But when we get to the very end and it's all explained, it was like, oh, sister been working behind the scenes, I guess. Yeah. Okay. She did very good at that.
I guess, so to just backtrack real quick. So everybody's motivations. Cate Blanchett could be motivated because she's Michael Fassbender's wife and she's also working the head of security.
Right.
Marissa Abela is a suspect only because she's dating Tom Burke. Mm-hmm. And Tom Burke could be a suspect because he is a higher up who also knows what Severus is. Not very much of them even know that Severus exists.
Correct.
So I don't think Marissa Abela knows what sits. He doesn't know whether or not she knows Severus exists or not, but that's why she's a suspect.
Yeah, not everybody in the company knows what it is, and the issue is it seems like it's being sold. Mm-hmm. So the main motivator, I guess, between anybody who would steal it would be the money.
And Naomi Harris, I think, is a suspect is because as a therapist, she knows all the secrets
of everybody.
So maybe
in the company.
She would know about it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, Naomi Harris did great. Also, no notes. She has a
so good.
One of my favorite lines in the movie is from her towards the end.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But she is sleeping with our next person. Do you have anything else about Naomi Harris?
I liked her scene with Catherine.
Okay, the session that they have.
I like both of her sessions scenes. She had a session with Catherine, and she also had a session with James, who we'll get to next.
Her character keeps it together mostly through like 99% of the movie. And then that 1%, it was like, oh, girl.
She played a good, challenging therapist who asked challenging questions. Outside of Michael Fassbender, she was probably the only other person who kind of like put people to task or asked pressuring questions.
You're right.
I liked her scene with Cate Blanchett in the therapy session because they're kind of having a tit for tat. Cate Blanchett's being a hostile.
They don't seem to like each other.
Hostile patient.
Right. She said, I always know when you coming because the hostility comes in a room right before you do.
They were so good.
Dang, girl.
They were so
rude.
They're like, and they were able to still kind of conduct a regular conversation in a session after they just insulted each other.
They were literally insult each other, have a little therapy, insult each other, have a little therapy. I was like, this is wild. Cate Blanchett
makes fun of her for being Catholic and a goody two shoes. She makes fun of Cate Blanchett for just being like, just
stuck
awful.
Up, cold, like
and mean.
Yeah. She thinks there's like she knows she not sleeping well or whatnot. She trying to get down to that. It was that back and forth I was like, this is tense. Oh, this is nice. Oh no, this is tense. Oh, y'all don't like each other. Okay, here we go.
She breaks up with James, and I love the way she broke up with him.
She did.
Just like being very direct. I don't want to be with you anymore.
I'm done.
He was asking her why. She was basically, it seemed like her answers were basically just whatever you need to hear to get the heck out of my office.
Right, you're done.
He tries to make an excuse to come back to her house to pick up her stuff. She's like, actually, it's here at the desk.
I packaged it up for you, and it's already at your desk.
Why would I want you back at my house?
Right. I'm ending this, and I planned it out because I'm a therapist, and that's what I do.
Okay, Colonel James Stokes, who's played by Regé-Jean Page.
I have not seen him in anything since Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know why.
He's from Bridgerton.
He's from Bridgerton, which I didn't watch, but he's pretty good in this. His character is young, but he's been in a job for a while. So he's got the same clearance as George and Freddie. So he knows what Severus is. He is a suspect because he knows. And he's got like everybody's got motivation to make some money. He does a very good job of playing that like innocent but naive.
He seems immature.
There it is.
He seems the least, even though he's not the youngest, he seems like...
He does seem the most immature.
When Naomi has broke up with him, I'm like, yeah, girl, why was you dating him? Right. He seems like he's a child.
Right. And there's a very... Even Catherine asked her that. She's like, why are you dating that boy? And she's like, stay out of my business.
And Clarissa clocks him in the first dinner. She's like, the reason I don't date young men is because you're boring and all you want to do is invite me over to play video games. And Naomi Harris is like, yeah, day one, Call of Duty. He invited me over. I had to watch him play Call of Duty.
Another scene that was funny, but they didn't write it up to be like a goofy comedy movie.
Because it's like you're a spy. This is your life. And you play Call of Duty.
Right. On your first date or second date.
You're living it, and you're that addicted to it.
Right. Right. And it was just kind of like, and Naomi Harris is like one of the older people of the group. And it's like, girl, why are you messing around with this boy?
It didn't make sense why she was dating him. It made so much more sense she dumped him.
Right. Right. He is the one who also kind of tells the audience or trying to lead the audience that Catherine is the one behind all this, because he finds out that one of the aliases that she used has like opened up a bank account and is getting $7 billion, 7 million pounds or something.
And you immediately trust him because he goes directly to Michael Fassbender and says, I'm only telling you this.
Right. I'm telling you off the books or whatever. And you're like, okay, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Look, everybody's still a suspect through the whole movie. So, but he did good in this role. I liked him in this. I would like to see him in more things.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see him in more stuff after Dungeons and Dragons.
True.
We should have got a sequel. There's still time.
Don't get me on that soapbox.
So
we don't have time. Anything else about Regé? I'm always gonna get it right now. Regé-Jean Page. You got any other notes?
No, I don't have any other notes.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Pierce Brosnan plays their boss Arthur.
Pierce.
He's mean in this.
This is not the first time I've seen him play somebody mean.
He was so rude. Like there's a
It's
scene where George comes to Catherine because George put his badge in Catherine's bag because he's trying to suss people out. Mm-hmm. He's investigating. She brings the badge to him, but she's in a meeting. She's like in a work meeting. So she comes out of the conference room, gives him a badge to have a bit of an exchange of words, not bad words, but they having a little conversation. She goes back in and Pierce Brosnan is looking at him like, can you get out of my face and away from our meeting? And then he hits a button and then it turns the conference room into like all white. So you can't see in the conference room no more. Even though when he walked up to it, you could see everybody. I was like, why he being so rude to George?
Yeah.
He's not a very nice guy.
No. My favorite scene with Pierce Brosnan will probably be when they finally discover that's, so let's just do this part.
Yes.
Michael Fassbender is investigating Cate Blanchett.
Yep. And everybody else.
She has a trip. She's taking a trip to Zurich for a meeting. They don't really give each other all the details about their missions because it's very compartmentalized. But he knows that she's in Zurich. Clarissa controls the satellites.
Yes.
He goes to Clarissa and says, hey, I need to hijack one of your satellites to spy in on my wife. Clarissa's like, you got a 3-minute and 50-second window. After that, they're going to know something suspicious is going on.
Correct.
So for 3 minutes and 50 seconds, he's watching Cate Blanchett. Him and Clarissa are watching Cate Blanchett have a meeting with some random guy who's
Russian dude.
A terrorist.
Yeah.
In Zurich. So he gets that information. The 3 minutes and 50 seconds are up. And immediately after, he gets pulled into a meeting with Regé, Pierce Brosnan, and Freddie.
And two other people who are there who don't care about.
Clearly lower tier because they get kicked out the room.
Exactly.
They get pulled into a meeting and they find out that in that 3-minute and 50-second window that nobody that was supposed to know about except for Michael Fassbender and Clarissa, the terrorists that they were using that specific satellite to watch.
Yeah.
Escaped from the bunker that they were watching him in. And they have a complete blind spot. They have no idea. There were 6 people in the building. The satellite went down, came back up 3 minutes later. Only 5 people were in the building.
And he the one missing.
And he the one, the terrorist.
This is a scene where Michael Fassbender starts freaking out.
It's freaking out.
He's sweating. You can't see him sweating, but he's sweating.
This leads to my favorite Pierce Brosnan scene, where Pierce Brosnan is basically grilling them about the fact that this has happened. It clearly happened in-house. So there's 2 things that are technically taking place.
Yes.
Severus was already missing.
Right.
And now the terrorist has gone missing too.
And they think that the terrorist is now trying to get Severus from some buyer who's
So now they think it's all connected.
Yes.
Yes.
It's official. We have a mole situation.
And Arthur's played by Pierce Brosnan basically tells them what Severus is because it's like, what is it?
Right.
And he explains what it is. It's a USB stick basically that has malware on it. It only works if you plug it on site at the reactor and it causes a nuclear meltdown. They were going to develop it to see it basically if we were ever a conflict with another country, we could send their reactor into a meltdown to kind of weaken them.
To basically take them out.
And to take them out.
It was a war weapon.
Yeah, basically it's a knife in the back.
Yeah.
And basically. I love the fact that when he's explaining it, they're like, why would we make something like that? He was like, Well, that's basically our job. We come up with this stuff. The issue is that it left the
building. He was like, at the time, it was the perfect idea. And like, then some idiot took it out the building.
He was like, what do you mean? Why do we make it? This is what we do.
Right.
The issue, you should be asking how it got out. We make all kind of crazy stuff
right.
up here.
Don't ask the question after the fact's already made.
And I love that. I love the fact that was his answer. It was like, don't ask why we did the terrible thing. Ask how we lost control of it.
Right. He played a good mean boss. Mm-hmm. And also his suit impeccable. He's got one of this like gray suit that's got like a gray vest and I was like, Pierce Brosnan, his hair all polished.
He gets better with age.
He does. Man is aging like fine wine. Okay.
What's the last thing we saw in Black Adam?
He looked okay, yeah.
I liked his character in Black Adam. I don't think it was a great movie.
No, and he got done dirty.
I didn't like that he'd killed him. But
this makes up for it a lot. But yes, his character was very like smooth, suave, and mean.
And he's not one of the suspects.
He is not one of the suspects. He just plays but he's the boss of the organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anybody else we want to touch on or any other notes about the main characters?
Nope.
All right, let's get into our likes and dislikes of this. I like that the movie jumped right in.
Oh, yeah.
We waste zero time. The very first scene we get at a club, it's a very long take. Mm-hmm. George is going to get Meacham to get a list of suspects. Meacham gives him the list, and this is how we know that his wife is on the list.
Stuff has already hit the fan before the credits.
Meacham's already stolen. Severance is already gone.
Yeah.
So we don't get the whole buildup of like everybody's working fine, and then we find out, no, Severance is gone. Meacham gives him the list, and we off to the races. We already talked about how good everybody looked, but I'm going to say it again. Everybody look good. Outfits is good. The house look good. The food look good. Movie puts you in the environment. So I felt like I was at work with them. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was at their fancy dinner. I felt like I was at their, I was in the interrogation room.
Yeah.
So the movie does a good job of like suspending wherever you are at watching it and putting you in the film. I do like the plot twist of the movie where I guess we're in spoilers, so we can talk about this. So what happens is George and Catherine end up putting 2 and 2 together and realize that they're both being set up.
Yeah, so basically whoever orchestrated this knows that Michael Fassbender will find out who it is.
Yep.
And they're setting up Cate Blanchett. They're positioning Cate Blanchett to be the main suspect and hoping that they'll kind of
take each other out. Yes. But they don't play like that. No. And I think the rest of our cast underestimated how strong their marriage is.
And that was the part of the twist. The love was real.
Yeah. They actually like each other.
They like each other.
They like being married to each other. And it's not just one way. So it's not just George going to take out whoever to make sure Catherine is cool. Catherine going to take out whoever to make sure George is cool.
Yeah.
So when they figure out that they both being set up, they start working together.
And she don't like when people talk about her husband.
Right. And they weren't necessarily ever working against each other because they didn't really know. No. But once they found out they both kind of being set up, they like, well, we about to take them down together because I don't play about you, you don't play about me. Yeah. So I like that twist of the movie. And then I think that people underestimated George because he turned in his dad. So there's a brief part of the first dinner scene where we hear about George actually turned his dad in because George was like, I don't like liars. And his dad was like cheating or whatever. And he destroyed his life and his job. So I guess they thought that maybe he would do it to his wife if the same thing happened. He wasn't about that action.
No, he wasn't.
I like that they gave us the days of the week as we're going through the movie.
Yes.
So very briefly, they would tell us what day we were because remember, we only have a week. So I like when movies, one of them days did that. I like when movies keep the audience up to date on where we are in the timeline.
Yeah.
And the only thing I will nitpick about is I feel like, I guess we'll get to the end, but there's a reveal of a character not being good who's like part of the plot. I feel like that could have had a little more meat. There's 2 reveal scenes. There's one reveal scene with one character, and then there's another dinner sequence where we get the big reveal. I feel like that first one could have had a little more meat, maybe a little 2 extra minutes on the runtime to kind of tell us what was going on.
That is my main complaint.
Okay. That's literally my only dislike.
And that's my only complaint, I think, is I'll start with my dislike then.
Okay.
By the third act, we get the everybody's in the same room together and they're doing the reveal. I feel like for as much of the movie as we watched Michael Fassbender investigating, I figure he figured out everybody's motives off screen.
Okay, you would have liked to see that.
When they were doing the exposition and the montage of what people were doing when we weren't looking at them.
Right.
He figured all that out, like,
by himself.
We didn't see any of that.
because we get the interrogation. They do a polygraph test.
Yeah.
So we get the polygraph testing of everybody, and that seems really good, and it's really well edited. But by the end of it, we as the audience are like, well, who is it?
And I think we're supposed to guess that he got all that he needed from the polygraphs. But because we are not polygraph investigators, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. I'm looking at the heart rate.
I'm looking at everybody.
And if the heart rate ain't right, then that's the only thing I can tell if they're lying.
They show the heart rate a lot, and I was like, is this good or bad? Is this good or bad?
But I guess that the heart rate was moot.
Yeah.
Because one of the characters rendered it moot. So,
exactly. So I think, and I guess they needed that second dinner meetup because he too wasn't quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
he knew it wasn't his wife.
Right. As the audience, I was kind of like, I mean, you're right. He did everything off scene, and I guess I would have liked to see him figure it out in his head. Yeah. So yeah, that was a dislike of mine as well.
Main likes. Like I said, I like the relationship. Mm-hmm. I like the reveal that the love was real.
Yes.
And that, because I mean, you don't know. You just guess that because they're both. You don't
they're
know
both
if they're
spies.
And they're not putting on an act with each other. This is just how they are.
True.
So the love is real. Mm-hmm. They are a team.
And they don't
through
play.
And through. It doesn't matter who did wrong and who did what. It doesn't matter if one could be a terrorist and is about to cause a nuclear meltdown. They are going to back each other up.
Listen.
She said it and they say it in lines that don't hit you until the end. Mm-hmm. Kate Blanchett's like, I value loyalty.
She sure did.
That was it.
Yeah, and Naomi Harris was like, loyalty to who? And she was just like, none of your business.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
Just loyalty.
It ain't you. It ain't you.
And he just values people who doesn't lie.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he, very early on, there's a clue. We get a clue that Kate Blanchett is a big fat liar. When he sees a movie ticket in her trash can, he asks her to go see the same movie without telling her he found it in her trash. She's like, oh, I've never seen that movie before.
Right.
And she's so good at being a liar that she could be lying or she could be telling the truth.
Like, girl, we saw the ticket.
I like the reveal that she wasn't lying. She actually didn't see the movie before. It was planted. And and when she asked him, she was like, why didn't you just ask me about the movie ticket? He's like, I knew it wasn't you. It was a waste of time.
Right.
There's no point in asking you
about that. I think he said, did he say Faith?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said something like, I knew something was up. I just knew it wasn't what it was presented as.
I love the fact that his first instinct was, I found a movie stub ticket in my wife's garbage. His first instinct was, somebody else put this here.
Right.
Not my wife went to the movies and put it in the garbage.
Right. Yeah. When
I never would have gotten
even that. When James comes and says, oh, not Clarissa, your wife's account is the one that opened up this secret bank account or whatever and doing this and that. He was kind of like, huh, okay. Oh, I'm just going to put that in my memory bank and keep going and see. I'm going to see where it was more of him seeing where it led, not automatically my wife did it.
I think what set him off was the fact that there were clues at all. And
maybe,
I feel like maybe
she's a spy, right?
She's not going to leave clues.
Right.
She's the head of security. Like, the fact that there's something to investigate is the red flag.
Right. And he was trying to, and that's why she was like, why are you acting so weird? Because he was trying to like poke her, and she was like, no, that's not it.
I love the fact that to her, the whole movie, she's going on a mission. She's going on a job to go on a meeting in Zurich.
Yeah.
At the same time, he's investigating. Zurich is also the same place the ghost alias opened up the bank account.
Right. So the person escapes and all that.
The clues are there. And he keeps asking her very pointed questions. And you think that she's just sneaking out of them.
About it.
But in hindsight, she's like, I don't know why you're asking me these random questions about this random nothing mission that I'm going
to the movies.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be selling or buying.
Right.
They just told me to meet with a guy, ask him some questions, he'll give me something.
Right.
And then when she has the meeting, comes back, she's like, that was a complete waste of my time.
Wasn't nobody there.
No. And
he didn't have nothing.
He's asking her questions like, when are you going? When are you coming back? She's like, I don't know. Tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm coming back the next day. Don't stay up.
He even says the distance is hard. And she was like,
we do fine.
What are you talking about?
She literally was like,
I leave all the time.
Her literal response was like, yeah, we do fine.
Right. And then she's like, ooh, this trout's delicious. And you're like, I mean, he's still cooking dinner. She's still eating dinner. I don't understand.
She's on her way out. In her mind, she's on her way out. She's going to be gone for maybe 16 hours because she's going there and back.
Right.
And he's making a big fuss about saying goodbye. And she turns around and looks at him weird.
She's like, why are you being weird?
You think that she's looking at him weird because she's thinking,
oh, he discovered something.
He's sussing me out. But she's really looking at him weird like, you're doing weird stuff.
Right.
You're
Why you
behaving
being like
weirdly.
this?
I hope your behavior changes by the time I get back because this is weird.
Right. Be normal when I return.
Yeah, be normal. Fix this when I come back.
Right. So yeah, but you don't know that until the end, which makes the movie so good.
Yeah, I like that. I like the wardrobe. I thought the wardrobe was amazing. I like the fact that we only went to like 2 places.
Yeah, you don't move. It's not a lot of globetrotting.
It's to the office and to the house.
Right.
Technically.
Twice.
Yeah.
couple times.
That's all I was to say for my likes and dislikes because there's a lot to put in the ending.
All right, so we're gonna try to get to the ending. Now, listen, this is a movie you need to watch, so we probably gonna get some bumps in the road, and we've only seen it once.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to explain it. Jay gonna help me out, and we're gonna see where we get. So basically, there are 2 people plotting in this movie, or 2 groups of people plotting in this movie. Come to find out, Severus was stolen, but it was stolen by James. James is Ray J. Dang it. Yeah. Ray J. Jean Page. He stole it, and he is in cahoots with Arthur, they boss. Yeah. They actually want to cause a nuclear meltdown because they want the 2 countries, Russia, Ukraine, whoever, to fight against each other so that the U.S. can swoop in, like we always do.
Because it would stop the war.
And take over and do the thing that we always do. So they were actually going to cause chaos and destruction and kill a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah, and we've seen Chernobyl.
Right.
We know what a nuclear meltdown
does. So that is and we'll get to how they kind of get to that. But then the other plot is going on is that Freddie is the person he's cheating on Clarissa with is actually Zoe, who is Naomi Harris. Yeah. So Naomi Harris and Freddie was getting down.
For different reasons. Freddie thinks they're just sleeping together because they're sleeping together.
Right, because he's a cheater.
Naomi Harris is sleeping with Freddie because Ray J. John Page in his drunken stupor leaked to her because they pillow talk.
Right, afterwards.
Pillow therapist talk.
Right.
He told her that he stole it and he was planning to use it. And
she was like...
She broke her therapist code.
Yeah. She was, and because of her faith, she was kind of like, oh, if y'all use this, you're going to kill a bunch of people.
Patient confidentiality does not work for mass terrorism.
Out the window. She said, oh, my Lord will not allow. And she basically was like, y'all not setting off this bomb.
And I know about it.
So her and Freddie are kind of working together to plant the seeds that Catherine was the one who took it to take the fall because they knew that Catherine was going to do whatever she needed to do to find out where it is so they don't go off.
So actually, no.
Okay. See, I told you I'd get it right.
What was happening was Tom Burke didn't know that Freddie didn't know that James took it.
Correct.
Only Zoe knew that James took it. Okay. So Zoe was sleeping with Freddie to try to lead him to figure out that it was James.
Okay. But somebody was trying to set Catherine up, right?
James was trying to set Catherine up.
James is the one who sent Catherine to the buyer who didn't have nothing. So she was like, oh, you sent me out here to make it look like I was the one that did it. Yeah. Because I'm on camera or whatever.
Zoe was sleeping with Freddie because she thought that it would lead them to figure out that James was the one who stole it. At the same time, James does not know that this is happening, and he's trying to plant it on Catherine.
You're right. So James is not only trying to plant it on Catherine, they are also trying to, I guess they kind of also know that George is going to try to...
Yeah, and I think Naomi Harris's plan hinges on George also figuring it out.
Yes, to stop it, because she is kind of like, oh, y'all absolutely not about to cause a nuclear meltdown.
Right.
That ain't right. Because she says something, Zoe says something early at the first dinner that says, I don't see how y'all do what y'all do knowing all these innocent people are getting hurt. And they all kind of look at her like...
Yeah, she makes a point of speaking out that she does not find the death funny.
Correct, because they made like a joke, I think, or something about it. She's like, well, how many innocent people died? And they all like, ooh.
And now knowing that she was sleeping with him, knowing that he was going to do that.
Right, because she was only sleeping with him because she knew that at some point she was going to get some information out of him.
Well, I mean, I wonder if she knew that about James at the first dinner.
Oh.
If she knew that he had stolen Severus, and that's why she made that comment.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a good point. That's a good point. So what happens is Cate Blanchett goes to Arthur and says, I know it was you. And this was the part where I was kind of like, this was one of my dislikes. I don't know how she figured it out. But, and maybe that's a little plot hole. She goes to Arthur and says, I know it was you. I have stopped your plans.
Oh, I love that.
So they actually they actually got the Russian guy that was missing and the Russian guy that she was talking to were in cahoots with each other.
And she figured that out.
James sold them the Severance USB drive, but she told the CIA, because Arthur didn't want him to get the CIA involved. She told the CIA where they were and blew them up.
Yeah.
Blew them up.
And the whole 3 minute and 50-second mystery was because James knew that if he told Michael Fassbender to look into his wife and she was going on a trip, he knew that he would hijack a satellite to do it. And he was the only other person who would know about the window to get the terrorist out.
Right. Well, and then
Pierce Brosnan, I guess.
What also happened was Clarissa's behind. Remember, she went to Freddie and told Freddie.
Oh, yeah, because she didn't want to go to jail for treason.
Right. She told Freddie, George is looking at his wife on this satellite. And that's how Freddie knew when they were in the bunker and they were explaining, Arthur was explaining like somebody stole it, whatever. Freddie knew that George was freaking out because he was the one who did the satellite.
And I love that Freddie's first instinct was to go tell Catherine.
Yeah.
Instead of confronting George about why you're looking at your wife,
Catherine.
He went to Catherine and said,
wife.
Your husband is looking into you.
It was just like...
And she was super confused.
Because she doesn't know that George is looking into her.
She didn't even know that it was about Cerberus until he mentioned it at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's when George and Catherine was like, I went to go buy something and wasn't nothing there. And George was kind of like... Somebody knew that I turned the satellites off for 3.5 minutes, and I don't know how. And they were like, well, wait a second. Somebody is talking to somebody and trying to set both of us up. Yeah. So at the dinner, it's a very good long, I don't want to call it drawn out. It's a very good lengthy scene.
So everybody at the first dinner is back.
It's back
it's basically a repeat of the opening.
For a second dinner. And George is finally at a point, he's done the polygraphs to everybody, and he just starts picking them apart one by one to figure out who's actually the liar, and this is how we get the reveal that is James, who actually was the one working with Arthur. And then we also get the reveal that Freddie was sleeping with Zoe, and her main mission was to keep them from actually letting the bomb go off.
And Marissa knew none of it. I mean, Clarissa knew none of it.
Clarissa was just she was just
there
for a kickback.
Because she was dating
for a
She was dating Freddie.
Right. And she actually passed the polygraph because her crazy butt read some book on how to pass a polygraph, and George was like, I just wanted you here to let you know that you did that flawlessly. Yeah. And I've never seen anybody do it.
Nobody's ever beaten me on a polygraph.
Congratulations. Before. You're not a suspect
and
anymore.
She was extremely excited from the beginning of the movie to the possibility of doing a polygraph, and you thought it was only because she was flirting with Michael Fassbender. She was. Right. But she also just wanted to see if she could beat him.
She did. And she was very excited.
Because she's young, and this seriousness is just fun for her.
She ain't ready yet. She ain't ready to be serious yet. So the ending is basically
Cate Blanchett throws a gun on the table when everybody gets there.
Right. And when they get to the conversation, he said, I forgot to tell y'all what the game is who grabs the guns first. And this is after James has grabbed the gun. And he's like, y'all not going to take me down. I'm not down for this. This plan was good. Y'all ruined it. And he tries to pop a cat in George's head twice.
But Kate put blanks in it.
So they just like, so you just going to kill George right on the
My thing is, where'd you think the first bullet went?
I don't know.
You shot him point blank and it didn't go anywhere.
Pop,
and then
pop.
You tried to shoot him again with the same gun.
Right back. Pop. So Cate Blanchett was like, I ain't about that life, and pops 2 caps in James' head, but they real guns. Yes. There's real bullets, and he dies.
Yes.
So they kill James, or Catherine kills James. The rest of them are basically kind of like, oh, well, at least we ain't going to jail for this. Yeah. Arthur gets to keep his job because he also ain't talking to nobody. Although he is kind of implied that eventually she will like work up the ranks and take over Arthur's position, but that don't happen in the movie. And then they dump James' body in the lake, and they live happily ever after. Yeah. Now. And it sounds like it's like, happily ever after, but the way it plays out, so good.
Yeah, and it actually does end happily ever after.
It does. As it should. I mean, they were down for the cause for each other, and they got to live it.
She said early in the film she wanted Arthur's job. She got it.
Yeah, it I don't know if it happened like right then and there, but it's eventually implied because I think George is kind of like, it's going to eat at him.
Well, she says when she's getting out the elevator, she says, let me know anywhere you want. I think that's where her telling him, I'll retire you wherever you want.
Yeah, okay.
Just let me know.
Yeah, good point.
When your office is
good
clear.
Point. And he's still mean and got the mean mug face on. Be like, sir, you tried to kill like a bunch of innocent people. You need to be in jail. Be glad you're not.
You get your retirement.
Right.
Like, you get your severance.
And nobody's going to say nothing about it.
Right. Which is crazy.
And I think, like, the CIA was like, she said they was, like, giving them pats on the back for, like, discovering it. I was like, y'all caused it.
Mm-hmm.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Let's get into our favorite line or scene.
Favorite line? Well, I don't have a favorite line, but favorite scene is Clarissa's interrogation.
Polygraph test?
Yeah.
Because she's lying about her middle name,
Beatrice,
and we see it on her like file or whatever, and George keeps asking her middle name and she keeps lying about it, and
her file says Clarissa Beatrice DeBose,
right? And he's like, why are you lying? And he's like, wait a minute, are you trying to fake this test? And she's like, yes. She
was doing perfectly.
She was doing great.
He was looking at the paper. He asked her like 3 times. Mm-hmm. He keeps looking at the paper like, it says Beatrice.
She's just like, nope, that's not my middle name.
She's like, no. And then she starts to smile. And I'm thinking like, this is the reveal moment. She's going to She's going to slowly turn and be like, it was me all along.
I tried to kill all y'all.
And she was like, no, I'm just having a good time.
I just wanted to see if I could pass this polygraph.
Yeah, he's asking very serious questions.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, and like I said, the scene's very cut. It's very tight. It's very tense. And this heifer in here trying to clown on a polygraph test. Like, girl, be serious.
Even at the end, he asked her and you don't know whether she's told the truth or not. His last question to her is, did you steal Severus? Mm-hmm. And she's like, and she smiled. She's like, what's Severus? And I'm like, but they never go back to it. I'm like, do you know what this is? Because you're not supposed to have this security clearance. The only way you would know if Freddie told you.
Right. She was good.
Yeah.
She was very good. I have a favorite line and a favorite scene. My favorite scene is when Michael Fassbender's character, George, freaks out. Because, I mean, y'all, it's so bad. I mean, he got the shakes. He is visibly like troubled. When he finds out that it got out, he's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And at first we like, well, what's the oh no for? I mean, brother was down bad.
And he's always playing like a got it together, meticulous character. I've never seen him freak out before. He's good.
It was a very good freak out. Yeah. My favorite line, however, comes from Naomi Harris. When they get to the second dinner scene at the house, they all sitting back at the same table. Ain't no food though. Somebody actually asks, where's the food? And George goes, I didn't cook. Ain't nothing but a gun on the table. Naomi Harris's character looks down and says, why is there a new rug? And don't nobody pay any attention to it, but she's freaking out because she's like, why am I in a house with a bunch of spies and there's a fresh rug on the floor?
She's only been in the house once. You recognize with the rug. Only a spy would suss that out.
Right.
Be like, the furniture in here has changed.
Immediately sits down and notices that there's a different rug.
Who notices that?
And the funny part about it is, it was good to notice because they definitely was going to kill one of them.
Yeah.
Roll them up in the rug and dump them in the lake, which is exactly what they did with James.
Exactly what he did. It was a dummy rug.
It was. And they destroyed a good rug.
It was hilarious that she picked that up. The rug is under the table. The room is poorly lit.
It's just candlelight.
It's just candlelight.
Candlelight.
How would you know that you got your shoes on? So it's not like it's toes on fresh carpet.
She said.
How would you know?
It's like when you walk in and something missing and you like, who stole my keys?
Yeah.
It's literally what that scene. She was like, why is there a new rug?
But spies. I guess that's why Michael Fassbender would know that somebody else would be in a trash can upstairs in a bedroom.
Right.
Who would know that?
So that was definitely my favorite line was from her because Sus was panicking about the new rug and nobody else mentioned it. So that was my favorite.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any miscellaneous thoughts?
Did I have any random notes other than the fact that I thought the house was extremely nice? I thought the conversations they were having were really good.
I had that line. Yeah. I had that note.
And I thought it was funny. Of course, he's the one that cooks.
Yeah. He was, listen, y'all, he was mincing some garlic. I was like, even a garlic mincing looked good.
Out of the two, he seemed like the one that was straightforward one. Yes. So it didn't seem like she cared about cooking like that. No. She also didn't care about spending a whole bunch of money.
No, he didn't care, remember?
Well, he didn't. Yeah. She did not like the fact that he spent a whole bunch of money.
Right.
They drop a line where I guess she must have either grew up poor or her mother spent all their money when they were kids.
Yeah.
She was afraid. And I love the fact that they planted that seed and then it also helped with the whole Severus missing thing, that it was also attached to 7 million pounds.
Right.
And in my head, I'm like, he spends a lot of money. She doesn't like that. She grew up. Money was clearly an issue.
Right. She just
this girl is building a nest egg. I thought it made sense.
Yeah. I like that.
And I thought the table lighting was wild. There were so many candles.
It was
on the table. They turned the ceiling light on.
It also had music playing in the background, and then during like the awkward moments, all you would hear with this loud music. And I was like, "Who's gonna turn the music down? This is awkward." My miscellaneous thoughts would be worth a rewatch. Like, I definitely need to see this again because I feel like I missed some things. And like you said, I want to piece together, like, when Catherine was being, like, Catherine was obviously clueless to some of the questions, but now that I know the context, I want to watch it again. And then more movies like this, please. I want more movies like this.
Another random note. I love when rich people in movies wear the same coat.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just such a regular thing. Like, you have you own a whole bunch of clothes.
$2,000.
Yeah, you own a whole bunch of clothes, but you got a coat. You got a coat you throw on every time you go out the house. I like the fact
it was her to-go coat.
Her outfits changed, but her coat didn't.
And it was like a leather, a brown
It was like a motorcycle
shiny
jacket, kind of. It had pockets.
It had lots of pockets. And a belt.
I thought it was very human for them to be super rich, and she keeps throwing on all these luxurious clothes. We see her getting dressed multiple times. She puts on the same coat.
Yeah. This is her favorite coat.
That's her favorite coat. It makes sense.
It's very cute. I can see why.
All right, our rating.
I'm going to get it 5.
It's a 5.
It's
5 Nicole Kidmans.
I ain't got no notes. I already want to rewatch it.
Yeah,
I'm buying it on physical. I want more movies like this. There's nothing to take away from.
Yeah,
nothing.
This was good. It was a very good mystery. It had its twists and turns. It still had things that you didn't see coming. No.
I like that. I love and it was just perfectly paced.
Yeah. And perfectly. I'm excited about your rewatch because knowing what I know about what everybody's individual secret motivations were, it's going to be even more interesting watching them lie their way through the whole movie up until they get to the last dinner.
And I need to see Clarissa's crazy, unserious self again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She was so good.
She was such a fun character.
Yeah.
All right, so that is it for Black Bag. If you can't tell, we liked it.
It was a good movie.
You need to go see it.
Yeah.
Even if you got spoiled if you listen to the whole episode and you got spoiled, you need to watch it anyway because I'm sure we botched that ending. It's probably all choppy.
Yeah,
You're probably like, what?
This type of movie you have to watch.
You have to watch. And it's worth seeing in the theaters, I guess, just because how it looks. It just looks good on the big screen. Yeah. So check it out. Definitely watch it. Tell us what you think. Tell a friend. Take a friend.
I hope it makes its money back. There were a lot more people in this theater. There were more people in our theater for this, and it wasn't a small screen.
No, it wasn't.
Than we've seen in some blockbusters recently.
I feel like it was more than in Mickey, maybe.
Yeah, definitely more than Mickey.
Yeah, it just costs a lot. I don't know why this costs so much.
So I hope it has legs.
Hopefully. I want more movies like this, and I feel like when movies like this don't do good, studios take that as don't make no more. And I don't like that.
This is really good. I wish The Killer should have been more like this. We didn't like The Killer too much.
Now you talking about slow.
Yeah, that was a slow movie.
Jesus
and it's
Christ.
short.
And in the end, you was just like, wah, wah,
it had action though, but it was few and far between.
An example of a movie that had action and it was still slow.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, what are we watching next week?
Next week we're watching Opus.
The reviews is making me nervous, but hopefully it's good. Hopefully the critics is wrong again.
Or maybe it's one of those things where you like it or you don't. Okay. Midsommar was not Hereditary, and Midsommar were not very well liked by audiences.
Okay. Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Hereditary, I think, has a C cinema score.
Oh, you're right. No, I think it has a D actually.
Yeah, lower. Yeah.
Interesting.
And they're some of my favorite horror films.
Yeah, but we here for Ayo. We here for John Malkovich. Yeah. So we gonna see. Well, hopefully we'll get the streak going. Because we was on a little, after Brave New World, it was kind of like, these movies ain't really meet my expectations. This one got me back on the pedestal.
My only hope is that, now that you've seen the menu, you kind of have context.
Yes.
For like the type of story.
If it's not as good as the menu, though, I'm gonna have a problem.
I hope it is nothing like Blink Twice. That's my only hope. I hope it's nothing like Blink Twice.
I might walk out. I've never walked out a movie, but please let Opus not be the first one. I'll be like, do you want to finish this? Yeah. And our review gonna be like, we left 45 minutes in. We don't know how it ended.
If I had known what Blink Twice was gonna be about, I probably wouldn't have seen it.
No, but I like Naomi Ackie.
She did it. It was a good movie.
Oh, that ending.
It was just, the subject matter just so much.
Hopefully Opus is not a rehash, or I don't want to call it a rehash, a version of Blink Twice.
Yeah, I'm not interested. Let the conspiracy be about something that is an assault.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Let it be like, I don't know, aliens. Like I thought Blink Twice.
I would love it. I would love it. See. Make them cannibals.
Something. There's a lot of other terrible things to do, y'all. Yes. That's what we're saying. That's just what we saying. But that wraps up our episode. You want to take us out? You want me to take us out?
Sure. Thanks for listening. If you like our show, please share it. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcast or on our website at vaguelynerdypodcast.com. You can also leave us a review on Spotify too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that shows up on our website too.
Do it, please.
So do that. Well, you can also leave us a voice message on our website if you like our show, and we'll play it on the show if it's nice.
If it's not nice, I'm going to blast you on social media.
Nope. I mean, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
We're not accepting not nice things.
No.
You can follow us on Threads and IG at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, Blue Sky and Twitter at Vaguely Nerdy Pod. You can reach us at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com for email. If you're listening to us on a podcast app, you can also watch our animated format of our podcast on YouTube.
I got a bob and some cute glasses on today.
On Vaguely, I dress like Michael Fassbender if he was black.
I can't see your emoji yet as we're recording, but so I'm very excited to see what it's
And
going to look like.
our YouTube channel is Vaguely Nerdy Podcast.
All right, until next week.
Bye.
Bye.